Nobody said so. Reroll.
I've never had a recap before.
You have the notes.
Good thing I took notes, guys.
Look, fate decides, not me.
Oh, I was so prepared for this quiz. All right.
Just as long as you keep taking notes.
I'm literally just going to read them word for word now, just like I did at the end of last session.
Okay, go.
Board,
no, you can skip that part.
Board.
For an hour.
That was the first session.
Okay, so we leveled up. We went deeper 3.0. Oh, this is the wrong one.
That's the other one.
No, this is the right one.
No, it's the right one.
That's the right one.
Because we were extra bored.
We were going down.
We went deeper. We were sneaking underground. We've heard about Anawak, the god of tricks.
Yeah.
There was a giant skeleton impaled in spikes with two heads. We went back to the future, or at least I thought we did. It was actually a dream world. We're not sure what's there. It was very confusing. The computer fell asleep and we had to take a break. I have cat bonds with creepy girl. Oh, yeah. The cat
bonded with one of the twins.
Bonded with one of the twins.
Or at least made a passing.
I don't have
and was not, and she wasn't allergic to it. That's all. That's all. That
Bran
really
threw up and fixed a chair. And then got a +1 on bonuses that he never used the rest of the session.
You were in battle and you didn't use it. I'm disappointed.
I'm going to keep using it forever, though. So,
you're not.
It said forever.
Nope.
That's what I heard.
Nope, it's gone.
All right. Dang it.
Bye-bye.
Dang it.
It was until your next rest, and you rested.
Oh, you didn't.
We
tell
did
me that.
rest.
All right. Ku was distracted.
Ku was always distracted.
Ku was distracted. Ku did the snoop. Nakia shrinks himself.
You did.
Berl gets friendly with plants. Warren found a person, but it wasn't a person. It was one of the wretched. We got attacked by a whole bunch of little wretcheds. We almost died. Not really, but then we actually really almost died.
Yeah, and then you lit me on fire.
Nakia got really weird. Barfed up a bunch of rope. We gained experience. We made camp. Ku and Berl had a heart-to-heart.
It didn't end very well, though.
Berl got a conscience.
I've been kind of pissed about that. I've been stewing on that all week.
Bran pretended to wake up and then got hit in the head with a rock. But prior to that, retconned healing the party. And then there was something twisting around, something else. At the very end, there was like a pillar in the middle of this fountain, and there was something twisting, and then that was where we left it.
Oh yeah, it was a great big stone, and there was very briefly a tentacle that reached out of the pool.
There was something.
Yeah,
it wasn't really a tentacle. There was like something.
Tendril spiraled up the stone and cured everybody a bunch.
And then my computer just almost decided to go to sleep, but then I stopped it. And I stopped it for good.
That's what happened when you decided to cure people.
You will wake up forever.
You will never go to sleep.
So we should all be healed up.
Okay.
We should all be rested with a short rest. And you get spell slots back on short rest?
You can use a...
Oh, that's right.
Hit dice. I mean.
Yeah. You can forego your hit dice in exchange for...
And so far today we have been cutting the cheese in various ways. I think it summarizes everything we've talked about.
Okay.
Let's see.
So we've been resting by this pool, and Nakia, are things still going super weird for you? Do you still have any weird effects happening?
I think it stopped.
Okay.
We're still asleep or no? We'll wake up?
Did we sleep?
Yeah, we slept.
We slept.
Well, most of us slept. They talked the whole time.
And they talked a little bit, and then Berl cried herself to sleep.
I got hit on the head with a rock, so I don't know if I'm ever going to wake up. Bran is dead. That was it. That was it. He just couldn't take any more. Just one hit. One misplaced rock on the head can kill you.
Exciting. Okay.
That was great. That was great.
I'm just stalling as I wait for the DM to tell us what's going on.
All right. You guys have basically rested the whole day. It's basically a new day. It's hard to tell. Sun really isn't a thing here. Neither is night. But you've rested what you feel like is a day. So you guys are just there. There's the spring, there's the stone. It's tranquil as all get. There's no wind almost. There's just that mist everywhere around you. You know, and odd visions within the mist that fade.
Nice. Is there... I guess I'll do a perception check. Is there any sign of the little guy from town that Warren fed a little bit of bread? It was a... Where is it? 19.
Yeah.
He's kind of like on the stairs, like...
He's not even on the stairs. There's like a tree, and it's just like kind of side looking from like beyond the tree. It's looking, so it's facing the tree, and its eyes just kind of looking, and it just kind of keeps you in vision.
Who? All of us, or just Warren?
Just Warren.
It would have been great if Warren
made a
would have
friend.
woken up and is like hanging over her face and just like, hey!
It's just there because it knows I can feed it.
That'd be awkward.
That's adorable.
Yeah, you should feed your pets.
I would if I could reliably get food out of my bag where I put it before we came in here. Okay.
I'm sure we could probably find something
should-
around.
Go trudge on. That's what Ku says. We should continue
So-
because she want to get out of here.
Well, so do we see anything else? We kind of took one path that was towards this kind of foresty area.
Yeah,
There's
it was
another path
towards-
towards more of a city,
More town.
more of a town. Is there anything else? Like, is there any visible path forward from this area that we're in the forest?
What's your passive perception?
17.
15, I think. 15.
I'm very passively perceptive.
What's your passive charisma?
Passive charisma?
Yeah, just what's your charisma? Just tell me your charisma score.
Like a +2.
Okay.
Like a 14.
My charisma is 16.
Mine 13.
There aren't
What?
paths that super stick out. You can like, oh, that's another way I could go. But
That's
you know, you're more on.
coolness.
It feels kind of like there's a pillar, but it does kind of go down in chunks down the sides. It's sort of like a tiered set of hanging gardens, so there's more going down. There's probably a path down to the lower tiers and lower.
Wait, so I had a question. Did
But
any
you
of...
can't find it.
Because we talked about a tentacle coming out of this pool. Did any of us see that?
I don't remember. I think he did ask about passive perception.
I'll be honest, I'm not really sure.
Because if so,
Make a
that
roll.
might be
I'm trying to see if I
something...
can get the thing to roll.
A bit of magic.
I don't have any
That
dice.
might be something to investigate.
Alright. What is everyone's perception then? And I'll tell you who saw it.
15.
Passive, right?
Yeah,
17.
you saw it. You saw it. What is yours?
11.
You didn't.
11.
You didn't.
She never sees anything. She'd be too out of it
No, you
to
didn't.
try to notice it now anyway.
Oh, well,
I
she
kind of half
has...
noticed it in the corner of my eye, like...
Okay, so we noticed the tentacle.
So you three noticed, those two didn't.
Is there anything visibly interesting about the pool? Because that would
It
probably
is
be...
incredibly still.
I think
it
having-
goes incredibly deep.
Can I
you do not
investigate
see the
it?
bottom.
How big is it?
It's about 20 feet by 20 feet. You know,
Oh, this
if
is
you
a
were
big
going to like
pool.
diameters,
That's what we were
it's
thinking.
perfectly circular, or at least almost.
Can I investigate it without getting into it?
Roll an investigation check.
Yeah, cool. 13.
Yeah, it's a very deep pool. It looks sort of artificial, just how perfectly shaped it is, but there's no sign of human workmanship.
Huh.
Or any kind of workmanship. It looks like it was just naturally made into a perfect shape.
Because I feel like we can't really move on until we figure out what the heck is this thing in the pool.
Hey,
I mean, the
Bran,
ones
you
that
want to go
noticed it.
swimming?
There's a thing in the pool?
No,
He saw it too.
There's something in the pool, but maybe I'm gonna throw a rock in there.
Wait, you guys saw that too? I thought I was
Yeah.
just old.
Nope. Still true, but nope. Is there a rock on the ground?
I mean,
rock.
technically I'm
Can I-
older than you, right?
I'm gonna throw a rock
There's
in
enough
there.
rocks, yeah, you can throw a rock.
All right, I'm gonna pick up a rock and I'm gonna throw it in.
You throw a rock, it splashes, there's a little, you know, the water just gives a little and the rock sinks.
Imagine that.
So wait,
Well,
which
you
of us
never
gets
know, like-
seniority?
Nakia, do you want to go swimming?
You only ask because you know he'll do it. That's so mean.
He's so charismatic, though. I'm sure he'll get away with it.
I don't know. It looks. Is it small? Is the pool small?
It's 20 by 20.
It's 20 feet
Oh.
diameter, and it's
I
deeper than
thought
you
it
can
was like
see
a well-sized
with dark
thing.
vision.
No, it's really deep.
Why do you want me to go swimming?
There was something interesting in it last night.
Oh yeah.
I want to kind of see what would happen.
Technically true.
What was? What was it?
I don't know. That's why I would love you to see if you see anything in there.
Well, I have an idea. You have a stick or a rock that you don't like?
Here's a rock.
I'll put light on the spell.
Okay.
Wait,
On the stone?
On the rock.
I'll put light on the stone.
Right in the middle. Throw it right in the
and then
middle.
Throw it in.
You also
He'll put
have
slide on
that
the
one
rock.
spell that lets you feel around and grab things with a phantom hand.
And that doesn't go on for infinity. That's only like 60 feet.
I mean, we could combine the two. Where your magic hand holds onto the rock.
I could.
And
Might
you-
as well. I'm down.
I mean, you
Here's
can
a
kinda-
rock.
Isn't your magic hand limited to 30 feet? And isn't the
What?
side
That's what I'm
limited
trying to find in my menu
30 feet
notes.
as well, or something
But
close?
you could kind of
Mage hand.
maneuver it around, maybe.
30 feet. Yeah, so I can only go 30 feet.
I mean, you
I'm
can
just watching out for you.
bring it down until your limit,
Yeah,
and then
let's-
just drop it.
Yeah, let's
it's a
do
rock.
that. Let's do that. I cast mage hand.
But you were
So
very
you
similar.
cast light on this rock.
We now
The
have a
rock
glowing stone.
kind
Oh
of
my god.
glows just a bit. It gives off faint light in the normal sort of air. It's bright, but it doesn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, I cast mage hand and I put it holding the stone, putting it into the water as far as I can. See if I
the
see
mage hand is
anything.
invisible, so it kind of does some weird tricks with the light because the mage hand
makes it brighter.
is not technically, it's not technically transparent, at least, but it does go down, and you do see this light, and it does light up the sort of edge of it. It's sort of dirt and stone all the way down that you can see, and the rock just falls. And eventually it gets kind of faint, and there's just a little dot in the deep.
Oh dear.
And it's hard to tell if it's getting bigger or smaller anymore.
Well, I guess there's nothing down there.
Hey guys,
What?
I just thought of something. What if we all swam down to the bottom?
I'm good.
What if I made it so that you could swim to the bottom? Where you could breathe the
Maybe.
water for you could breathe the
on how
water
long.
for 24 hours. You know?
I am content with
think-
not doing things and
Up to
walking
10
away
people
alive.
too.
Hey!
Nakia, you're the biggest and the strongest. I think you should do it.
We
join
can
you.
all do it because we can have 10 people do it.
Me, you, and Bran?
I vote against this.
Burl, maybe? Warren, you can keep watch up top.
Yeah,
I
bro,
don't
you're
wanna
being,
be up
you're
here
being
alone.
awfully quiet over there in the corner. Are you okay?
Not really, but I'm not gonna say that. She's just gonna be quiet.
She's still upset. Remember
Aw.
the conversation was sad last time.
It was very
And
sad.
she's
Not mean for it to be sad.
No,
At all.
she's feeling like she just got abandoned by the only family that she's got, and she's got nothing else right now. Like all the things that she would fall back on, she doesn't have.
I think
She's 10.
I
This
think
is very
that
much an
level
end
of
the world
13.
scenario for a 10-year-old.
13.
13.
That,
I think that level of
Makes me as
social
a
cue
player
is
feel
too much
bad.
for Bran to pick up on. So
Probably. Because Q is the only family that she has next to her dog, and she's in a strange dream world. She can't go any place, and she's not really as connected with everybody else, and her dog isn't even
piece of
real, so she just
Who is not abandoning you? Like, she's asking, do you want to come?
Oh, I know she's not, but that's how Berl feels, because it's like you're asking her to give up what she is as a person. And she can't
Does she
do
see
that.
herself as a rogue?
She sees herself as a rogue, but she sees herself as a smart rogue.
well,
Like she's not gonna just grab things because they're shiny
You
and
can
set
be
off
a rogue
traps.
That implies that I'm a dumb rogue.
You can be a rogue and not a
you're
thief.
just a kleptomaniac.
She's a kleptomaniac who doesn't have her civic virtue.
Yep. Or intelligence.
It's more the cluster.
That's true,
It's
but
more
you-
the
but you
kleptomania.
can-
It's like, this would be bad because it was bad last time, but the bowl is so.
But you can be a rogue and not a thief, right? Like those are two different things.
Yeah, they are
But
different.
she would still want to be a thief. Like she
likes to steal things.
She finds fun out of it, but she doesn't want to hurt people at the same time because she's got a conscience.
I don't think
And
he
it
was
just kinda
hurting
sounds
people
like
either.
No, I've never. I think I haven't heard
Yeah.
one that I've stolen.
Yeah, so the way
I
that it
think they
came
have.
across to Berl was Ku was like, well, you have to steal things and be like me and steal things and go through it all the way, or we can't do this together. And Ku's
Bran's-
like, I can't, not Ku, Berl. He's like, I can't do that, though.
Revisiting the game world, Bran's like, okay, let's go into the water. Okay.
So she's just kind of feeling
Little
like
Samantha.
alone
Alright.
right now.
The first pass was not the clearest of communications, I think is what happened.
Yeah.
I guess
So who's going in the water?
Me.
I'll go.
Me.
Okay, I guess we'll stay up here because I'd really rather not.
I'll give you
That's
all
okay.
water breathing anyways.
Okay.
It lasts for 24 hours.
Does that mean they can't breathe above water?
Oh no, you can't.
Oh, like they're
Probably.
fishes out
This
of
is
water.
in case we need to dive in after you to save you.
Fair enough. I'd feel a lot safer with a rope, too. Does anyone have a rope? I have 0 things in my pack,
I mean,
by the
I
way.
threw up a rope.
I mean,
Yeah, do you still have that?
Probably. Yes.
well, why wouldn't he?
He
A
does.
little scratchy.
He did take a point of damage for it.
We are. I'm gonna take that rope and I'm gonna tie it around my waist and I'm gonna have Warren hold it,
Okay.
if that's okay.
How long is it? I guess it doesn't matter since we're in Dream World, but
60 feet.
60 feet of rope.
that is not like a billion feet, like the rock said so.
What?
That was a bad
The rock didn't
sentence.
say a billion feet.
It did go
Rock
really
didn't say
small and
anything.
far away.
It did.
The words in the rock's mouth. The rock
says- the rock says-
Rock does not
The Rock
appreciate
says a
having
lot of
words
things
put in
because he's
its
an
mouth.
actor.
Okay, let's go. Let's do the thing.
Okay, I will cast the spell.
Okay.
Nothing happened. Like, nothing bad.
Oh, nothing
Bad
bad.
happened.
I was like,
Yeah.
nothing happened. Oh, good job.
We failed. Oh well.
He just said a bunch of words and that was it.
Nakia, thank you for your contribution to the party.
Now we can all breathe underwater.
Woo!
Now let's jump in the water.
I think Bran will jump in.
I am
And-
now in the water.
I'm holding onto your neck.
And I have rope winding
it.
down.
I'm fishing for you.
Do we have a way to like sink real fast?
I think Bran, halfway through this, is going to realize that it's really dark down there. And it's too late to go back, because he also cannot swim.
Cast light on something else.
Yeah, I'll cast light on my staff that's on my back.
Does that require verbal?
Oh
I was so close, I rolled a 2.
Is that somatic?
What?
Is that a
Can you
somatic
do that
spell?
with touch, or do you have to say something to
I thought
one?
it was touch.
I think it's. Let me check.
Is that what S stands for?
It's nope. It's just
Is touch and gesture and stuff. So.
it's verbal, but I think I should be fine since I can breathe water.
Can you speak underwater?
Does breathing underwater say you can make legible sound underwater? The answer is no, by the way.
All I
I
can
mean,
say,
You can make
according to
sound.
your rules,
all I can say is that Bran
I
is.
guess you are the god of this
All I can
world.
say is that Bran is flailing
Just saying, it
around
doesn't
the
say
whole
you
way
can make
down.
legible, like you can speak fine underwater.
It's
This is
fine.
a
I have dark
terrible-
vision.
And that's how
Yeah,
magic
but he
works.
doesn't. And this is a terrible, terrible mistake.
It's like you lack a component, Ben. I can't help it.
Yeah.
That's the
Are you
rules.
going to
You are a
surface?
genie who's trying to like get all the semantics
So are we just
out
like
of me.
sinking
no,
now?
Leprechaun
Do we
is
have?
trying to ruin you because I don't have enough magic to grant
You
wishes.
can all panic and swim back to surface
I
and
don't
then
wanna
get the
panic.
light.
He's the
Bran
only
can't
one
swim.
that's
However, you could swim
Which is why he was so careful with the rope.
And you could swim up and then use the spell. Like, it's
True.
not a big deal.
You could. As
You
long
would have
as
to
you can
leave
swim.
Bran alone in the
I don't
dark
think
and he would be
he's
like
swinging.
pulling himself up furiously on the
Oh,
rope.
he's as he goes down, he's just flailing wildly as he sinks
Okay.
because he is terrified of the dark and cannot swim. And this is the complete wrong place for him to be. But I
The rope
think
goes taut because eventually he's 60 feet down.
so. He's 60 feet down now,
A little.
flailing on a rope in the dark, in
It's not
underwater.
even that dark down
Did we-
there, but
did
it's
we-
pretty dark.
Did we
With zero dark
resurface
vision.
and grab this light for poor?
Didn't we drop a rock that was lit up?
That's true. You
Well,
can
but
follow
how
the
far
light.
away is it from 60
It's
feet?
actually impossible to see anymore.
Oh boy. Oh.
It took a long time, but yes.
So it's deep enough that we can't see it at 60 feet deep.
So, let's resurface and rethink our plan. And then
Bran will be like pulling on the rope, like let me up.
Yeah, I'll pull Bran up for
Okay.
you. Are you gonna go back
This is
down? That's the
beautiful. I love
question.
this.
Okay, now we're
No.
up. Hey guys, I have an idea that'll make us sink faster.
I am never doing what you tell me again.
We
I
have
didn't
one.
tell you anything. You wanted to go down underwater.
It's true. You did volunteer.
I'm gonna like think really hard, and we'll. How many people are there that's going underwater? Just us
two.
3.
No, I'm gonna go back.
Us 2.
I'm
I
gonna
guess it's just us two.
I'm gonna
Amazing
sip-
Adventures with Ku.
I'm gonna go sit by Berl and glare at you two. We're gonna be sullen together. I'm gonna be very sullen
I'm
at
gonna
you.
will some big rocks into the world because this is dreamland. And
Do a
anything
charisma
goes.
saving throw.
Oh, I forgot about this.
No.
That one.
Oh no.
No.
No, no.
You get kidney stones.
That sounds terrible.
It is terrible.
It's just form inside.
I don't want that to happen. Please no.
I don't know what I want to do with the nat one like that.
You just get
Having
the
kidney
giant
stone.
boulder in the sky.
I think you should go
I've
into
had
that
it.
Jones
Shadows
one.
starts
the
to
kind
turn
that,
down
like,
as you
pushes
just
them
hear
out.
it.
Antlers.
I mean,
Or is
they
it smoothing
can.
around?
It was really, really, really small, but it was still very jagged. No.
You try really hard to visualize this.
And I give myself an
Perfect
aneurysm.
rock.
No, he turns into a boulder. I'm sorry.
You ruin everything.
Don't give him any
Now it's all
ideas.
been said, so now now I'm not going to do anything. Now nothing happens.
Oh.
Was he going to turn into a rock?
I shouldn't have said anything.
And he struggles so hard, nothing happens.
What was your idea?
It didn't work.
It's a waste of a nat 1.
yeah,
Everyone second guesses me. I'm not going to do anything.
I'm sorry. I should
It's
have said.
boring now.
I apologize.
Let the nat one be a nat one.
Well,
The nat one pain, the punishment now is nothing.
Well,
This is your apathy, your loss, whatever.
my idea didn't work. Let's just jump in the pool.
Do we have...
Or maybe I did something and you'll never know.
That's a good one.
Just grab a bunch of rocks.
That's a better idea.
Are there rocks that big around?
Figure out why you guys are
I'll grab a bunch of
at the bottom
rocks.
of this pool.
You know,
and
there
I'm trying to
aren't
get
any
it.
like super huge rocks. But if you do look around in the bushes, kind of around the edge, they're all rocks. They're all pretty smooth rocks, or pretty like... They're not the rough ones you'd find just out and about. You know, broken chunks of other ancient, larger rocks. But they are rocks, and they're around, and they're all heavy
I will
enough.
stuff them in my pants.
Same.
You do have a pack, but you can totally do that.
Oh, I put mine in my pack because I'm smarter.
I love how you said "same" before you'd even finished what he was saying.
Okay. So they return to the waters.
The rocks.
Just like waddle up to the...
Are you gonna cast light on something before you jump in the water this time?
I mean, I have dark vision.
I'm gonna cast light on my pants.
Be careful, dark vision is
No, I'm gonna do it on my staff.
has its own problems.
He cast light on his pants.
I did not do that.
I heard it.
I
It
said
actually
that.
is super
It's
useful.
canon.
Oh,
All right, light on your staff.
cool. He's got a bright glow stick.
Yeah.
Anybody else coming on our little jaunt at the bottom of the sea?
Still no.
Okay.
Bran has decided not to.
Cool.
Yeah, he's decided
Let's
not
go kill ourselves.
Yes. We have like a freeze frame in the air
You have
because
to-
this is a dream.
You have betrayed my tiny trust.
I feel like you have a lot of trust for
been
being with a
betrayed.
bunch of really weird people.
It's been betrayed.
Anyway, jump in.
to. Okay, so you guys are sinking.
Yes. Sink.
I'm gonna play the party in the park game with you while we sing.
Party in the park game? You'll have to teach me how to play that
I
party
teach
in
you
the
how
park
to
game.
play it.
Okay. How long are we sinking?
Quite some
There
time.
has to be a point where we say, "Nah, man, bail," but it's not yet.
And how long does the underwater
Everybody else
breathing
gets
go?
another short
24
rest.
hours.
Oh, nice.
So they can go until they get
Yeah,
bored.
Yeah, I can breathe for 24 more hours. That's good.
Yeah, you
24
can all,
miles?
Everyone can,
Or,
because
yeah,
I gave it
everyone's
to
got
everyone.
underwater breathing, just in case. You never know.
Okay.
As the DM frantically changes
It
from
would be so dead.
a water
We're going
monster
to the water,
a water
temple.
monster.
By the way, 10
I'm just
points
waiting
for...
for it to decide to load.
Yeah, I'm just
Maybe what's going to
10 points
happen
for the
is we're going to go so
Princess.
far
Peaceful
that we end up just
forest
going to the
music.
top of the world and then
Lost
falling
Woods.
back in.
That's right.
Slightly
so
peaceful.
take that, ads. You're useless.
Maybe
I
we
have
end up
used.
dying because we went off the map. And we have to respawn in the real world.
That sounds
But you guys are
painful.
sinking for quite some time. It goes down hundreds of feet.
We have to, at some point, like,
You guys gonna do
we
anything
need
as
to
you
watch
go
the
down?
time. Huh? I said that we were playing Party in the Park.
Okay, what's that like?
It's a game. It doesn't require elements or anything. The idea of it is you have a pattern in your mind, like red objects, and then the other person has to try and guess the pattern by saying, I'm going to a party in the park and I'm bringing something. So if it's like,
I'm bringing Jeff.
yeah, and then I'd say no because Jeff isn't red, and so he'd have to try and pick another object.
What if he was a fire genasi?
Yes.
I thought we established that you couldn't talk underwater.
That's a good point.
They
I
can
mean, we
make
can-
bubble noises and
They're
try, but
bubbling
they
at
can't
each other
cast
the whole way
spells
down.
because it disrupts your speech enough to do that. But I'm sure they can communicate somewhere. I mean, they can do gestures and make noises.
I feel like at this
Yeah.
point,
I could
one of
just
you is
be
like
cast-
the familiar of the other at this point.
I'm not sure.
Which one's real and which
What
one's
if they're
fake?
both familiars? What if there's secretly somebody else they're bound to?
Oh my gosh, that'd be beautiful. Let's play that game. This is why we're always playing games together.
Yep.
Sinking down.
Okay, how much time has it been?
Yeah, this is important.
You guys sync for about 10 minutes if you keep
Oh,
going.
10 minutes, that's fine.
And we're like up there like, and just like that, the party was
When
split
you go
again.
way down, you sync quite slowly.
And Burl will be like,
Even
well,
with the rocks in
there,
our
Dad.
pockets?
Oh yeah, you sync pretty fast, like comparatively, instead of like, a human who's buoyant by nature. People tend to float more than they sink.
You have to work to get down.
You can stay down for too long and die, but normally your body goes up again anyway. So, but you do manage to go down, and you keep going down. You begin to see kind of more stone. It's less dirt, more stone.
Huh.
It's far more rocky and solid, and just almost a shaft of stone now.
Neat.
Cool.
And there's a kraken.
I spy with my little eye.
A rock.
A rock.
I spy
You
something
thinking,
wet.
5 more minutes go by if you keep going.
So Burl at this point will be like, she can't see them. They've been down there forever, and she's just so done with everything. She's like, well, they're dead, and she's gonna get on her dog and be like, where was that other town at?
That's an exciting decision.
This is gonna be fun, guys.
We split the party.
Yeah.
I always give opportunities for you to ruin your own lives.
I think
Who's
Bran.
ready to die?
How about we don't go to the town yet and give it a little bit longer? Their bodies will float back up if they die.
Well,
Eventually.
I'll let she be in charge of fishing their dead bodies out. And not like I could do it anyway, I'm too small.
I don't think we should go off on our own.
Hey, you can come with me.
I think we should wait for them to come back up.
You should definitely hang out here with us. We can play games too. What? We're not old and boring.
Yeah.
And he
Just
feels at some of the places where he doesn't have teeth anymore.
This has now become like parent with child.
I'll be like, yeah, I'll be back in a few. I just want to go check out the surroundings, maybe see if we can find where we're gonna go next.
Okay. You wander off, you do some checking.
Warren can't speak with animals. It's a first level spell that allows me to
Whoa.
talk with animals for about 10 minutes.
Are you saying Berl is an animal?
No, I'm gonna talk to her dog.
Oh.
Don't go anywhere.
Her
Oh,
imaginary
stay here.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Good dog.
Say this is. Wait.
No, dog,
This is
stop
not your
her.
first spell.
You're bigger than she is. Anyway, so yeah. So I cast the spell and tell her dog, like, don't go anywhere.
The dog stops moving.
I'll be like, go on. I'm your master.
She's gonna get hurt. She
It
might
keeps
get
moving,
hurt.
Then it stops again.
Alright, we're gonna play this game. I'll just hop off the dog and walk on my own.
Dog, stop her.
The dog kind of ambles over and just like does like the bite on the leg and just gets dragged.
The dog is as big as she
It's
is.
a big dog, but it's not like biting hard or anything. It's just attached.
It's also a dream
Like,
dog.
Yeah, he's a dream dog.
Berl, you're going to get killed. Come back.
Well then come with me.
No. Don't be silly.
That's all I want.
Hold out for a while.
You're not my dad.
All right. So all this joke
You're
goes
the boss of
on.
it.
You two begin to
Or
see
my
light.
dog.
Oh, right.
Oh, light.
It turns out we go into the opposite,
Ku and
like on
Nakia
the
see
other
the
side of
light.
the world, and it's exactly the same but opposite.
I see. I'm like, hey, I spy something.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's light. It's not a small like point of light. It's sort of large, kind of like faint light. It covers
this is,
basically the entire size of the tunnel below.
Oh no.
This is to make up for that one time we wussied out of the pit.
What?
The one time you
Remember the
went
pit?
spider climbing in the pit?
Yeah.
This is spider climbing 2.0.
What if this is where it ends up?
Can I do like a perception or an investigation to see if I can?
Give me an investigation check.
I don't know if it'll do anything, but I have an idea, and I hope it's not that. It's not gonna do much. That's an 11.
It's a light.
It's a light, man.
It looks like stuff shining into the kind of the pool tunnel that you're going down.
I have one paper that
It's
says
what?
it's first.
It looks like something
Another
shining
that says
up
it's
into
second
it,
level.
and the source is not directly at it, so it's sort of this ambient glow.
Neat.
Okay.
You keep sinking, and you're getting closer. The light, and you just notice the kind of the edge. It's a bit blinding because you've been in the dark for so long.
Youch.
Well, we had our own light.
That's true.
Yeah, but
But youch.
it's still like a little disorienting. There's that like our light's a little stick that does give off good light, but that's like normal daylight stuff compared. Different levels of light.
Huh.
And you keep going down. You do see you're starting to make out sort of a great circle.
What kind of circle?
A great one.
A big old stone circle.
Oh, okay. So.
Just this huge like
I won't lie. I was worried it was
Circle.
an anglerfish.
of stones.
Some kind of like big monster anglerfish.
It'd be weird for it to be down a tunnel, but I see what your fears are.
This is me, the player. I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's how Ku
Yeah.
and Nakia die.
I mean, that's what I was worried.
And you're
I'm
really
your
close to this
conscience.
sort of light, and you notice it's more of a shimmer. And, you know, it's hard to tell, but it looks like it may not be water any deeper than that.
Huh?
Neat.
You guys keep
Can we
sinking
like?
and-
Can I be like, hey, can we get close to the wall so that we could use your like spider walk thing in case something bad happens? Like we start falling to our death?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Right.
Just next to
You're next to the wall.
Instead of in the middle.
Reach this sort of shimmeringness of it, and as you keep sinking, do you guys like try to stay afloat above this, or do you try to just go through?
Wait,
like
say
try
that
Can
again?
I like poke my head through?
You guys are right next to sort of this light, and where you think the water might end. Do you just keep sinking, or do you try to fight sinking?
I'll poke my finger or toe or whatever through
Your
it.
finger feels air. And then you fall through. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Both of us?
Yeah, both of you.
Ooh, that's good.
Good thing my dexterity is high. 14.
20.
You both land pretty well. You fall about 10 feet. It's a pretty serious fall, but the ground's actually not that hard down here. It's actually sort of carpeted. It's kind of a weird, kind of branchy carpet, kind of old, nasty. It looks nasty a bit, but it also looks sort of natural. And it's just this...
Very intrigued with this.
This circle of that, and then there are these sort of doorless kind of openings along all the walls. So you're in this circular room, and there's these sort of arch openings. There's exactly 7 of them.
How much time have we been...
You guys have sunk for about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
And
I just like look up and I'm like, how do we...
you do notice
can't
on the
tell
walls,
anyone.
there are simple wall holds along the edge that could help you get back into the water.
Right.
But it would take some skill at climbing.
Also, did we find the rock?
Rock's there. Giving off a soft light that is reflecting off the bottom.
I mean,
The surface.
it doesn't
Otherwise
have
there
any...
wouldn't have been any light shining up.
Oh,
So
really?
we're like not in the water anymore, right? We're like gravity is... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you're
We're not in
gravity.
water.
Yeah. Well, that light wouldn't be lit since I have a staff now that's lit. But,
But yeah, so I'm just
Well,
like...
you would also get the idea that maybe through the doorways there is, in fact, other light sources. You can see there are hallways that you can't really see too far down of because they kind of bend and twist.
And you're like, there's not a way to tell them that there's something down there. Is there?
I mean, the only spell I have is about 120-foot range.
I don't know if we're in that range anymore.
I could try. Hold on, am I getting a signal?
Is he getting a signal?
It's
We are too far away.
I got no signal.
Well,
You could totally go up though if you wanted to make a
20-minute
acrobatics
swim.
check or an athletics.
well, swimming up would take a lot
I
longer,
don't know,
wouldn't
you
it?
guys. This is the whole, temple pit all over again. Just you two. I'm gonna check it
Bring
out
it.
before you regret it.
We must go deeper.
You would see
Must go deeper.
It must.
Yeah.
That's
The floor actually, you're standing on this sort of reflective, like other than the carpet that's in the middle of it, there's this sort of ring of reflective stone and along the floor, and that might also have been impactful in shining upwards. So this place is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's Dream World, so it's not that weird.
Yeah.
Not as weird as my dreams.
How many hallways are there?
7.
7. You play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo?
We could roll a dice, but I don't have any 7-sided dice.
I have 6-sided dice.
Roll an 8, minus 1, and just re-roll on 8s.
Oh wow, you are so smart.
I'm a DM.
You're so
Deal
good.
with
Thank
it.
you for
Seven.
the voice that is in my head.
I'm sorry, that was loud. 7.
Not bad. Yeah.
We go down
which
to
one did you
7.
decide is 7?
Oh shoot.
I just figured
Let's roll
you'd
another
decide.
die. No.
There aren't any markings over any of them or anything. They all
We're
look
just
the
gonna
same.
go. I assume that we just.
Cool. So you guys
Go
pick,
down a random
pick a
one.
door. You go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. You pick one. We'll go back to the other party now. Berl, what are you doing?
I'm walking off.
Hey, can I run after Berl real quick?
Yes.
I'm gonna run after Berl and I'll be like, Berl, good luck. And I'm gonna cast resistance on her.
Right.
So she gets a D4 on saving throws.
Cool.
Thank
Or,
you.
and then I'm gonna run back and I'm gonna lean to Warren real quick and say, kids, right?
Young.
How old is Bran?
He's like 18 or something. Children.
I can say that because I'm an adult.
I'm an
now.
adult.
Fair enough, I suppose.
I need to look at his age, actually.
And Berl's gonna see if she can reach in and pull out that orb that Magnus gave her. If she might be able to pull that out of her bag.
Okay, make a charisma saving throw. Because it wasn't visible.
With the plus D4.
Saving throws?
Yes. With disadvantage.
Why did you have to say that?
Because you failed at manifesting your powers over the dream world.
Am I disadvantaging the D4 as well? Or just
No,
the D?
just this is the D20. Come on.
Okay.
Make this easy.
It's a 13 either way, plus 4, and my charisma is another plus 3. So that's like 20.
Oh, wow.
20, huh? Not bad. You managed to manifest this orb and pull it out. Yeah. Leave it on.
I'll hold it in various directions and see if it shines bright in any particular place.
It's sort of a mess. Whatever light it does produce is kind of like staticky and weird. It's hard to really get a distinct direction.
Is it staticky more in certain directions than it does in others?
No.
Dang it. Hey, well, I tried. If I put the orb back in my bag, does that mean I can pull it out later? Or do I have to turn and roll again?
I don't know. You'll have to wait and see.
Nice. Alright, I'll stick it back in the bag
That's
for
a
now.
bad omen.
Alright,
Sound
well,
of that.
I'm gonna probably just head off in the direction of that giant town that we decided not to go to. In favor of the forest.
Okay. You head that way. Everybody else who was up top, your turn.
I'm not boring, am I? The cat just like blinks at you from the bag.
What? He's already like
I can't think of anything else responsive. He just kind of.
What? What? Huh?
I thought Bran was supposed to be the boring one. That was his whole thing.
I know, right?
This
This is a good point. Like, we're not boring.
No.
And then they gaze at the pool some more.
No. You think they're?
This is I presume this is all that we do. We're just hanging out here.
Do you think they're dead?
Nah,
Cool.
I don't think they're dead.
I think they're dead.
Well, it's only been 20 minutes.
You don't know me.
You feel the presence of your power, your patron deity.
Whoa.
Whoa. What?
You just feel,
I feel the
whatever
presence
gives
of
you
my
power.
patron deity.
Whatever gives you your power, it feels near.
What's your patron deity?
Got the tingles, man. Got the shakes. Got the shakes.
No. He'd be like, my Bran senses are tingling.
Okay.
It's nearby. Can I sense which direction it is?
Yeah, below.
Yes!
What?
I feel the strange urge to go down below, but yet I don't want to.
Probably don't. That's my recommendation.
He'd be like, will you hold my hand and we'll
You
go down
just
together?
said you thought they were dead, and it's only been 20 minutes. And we've been in the process of almost dying for more than 20 minutes. I don't think they're dead.
I don't think you understand. I got the shakes.
What do the shakes mean?
I don't know, but I gotta do it.
Okay.
Take the plunge, Bran, take
You
the
can
plunge.
still breathe underwater. I guess I'll be here.
This is a very conflicting. Do you have a coin? Bran doesn't have any coins.
Yeah, I do.
Bran's gonna flip a coin.
Oh no.
I'll do
Heads I go
this.
down, tails I go down.
What? All right. So odds I go down. Evens I
you go
go. I
down.
stay up.
Okay.
Which coincidentally are the names for heads and tails anyway.
Evens.
It's an evens.
Cool.
I don't know, your patron deity. That's pretty important.
Bran's gonna sit there fidgeting on the edge of the thing. Like,
Okay.
I rolled a
Well,
tail.
conscious voice
Switch.
in your ear.
to which
You're missing an opportunity, Bran. This is important. You may never get this
Warren
again.
develops a minor eye twitch from all the twitching going on next to him. Like,
you sure you don't want to go down there?
I'm extra sure.
You got any?
gonna stay right
How about this? You got any light sources?
I have a torch.
I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't think that's gonna work
If you
either.
close your eyes.
You're not there.
I know, I'm just trying to be like his
I'm trying to think
voice.
I
I have
is
the
there
voice
any
of
reason
inside
Bran would go down
head.
the water?
Would you like me to knock you out and push you in? I can do
How do
that.
you practice that?
Because you would just, I could put lots of
puns.
rocks and you would just go and probably regain consciousness in the dark, but that's your problem.
I don't think Brad's gonna go over that.
I don't have any
No, thank you, Warren, but I appreciate the gesture.
Let's see.
I can try to be the voice of reason in Bran's head that tells me if you close your eyes, you
Bran
can see the
Bran has nothing to his name, literally, except for his holy symbol.
The beckoning power just suddenly cuts off, and it's gone.
Well, look at
You
that.
you feel a sense of distance from your powers now.
Well, I don't have the shakes anymore.
Is that good or bad?
Probably bad.
Oh. I can still knock you out and push you in, if that'll help.
I don't think
just
so.
grab Bran or grab Warren and drag him in with you.
No. I have knives, don't do it.
Also a cat.
Bran's gonna look again in the pool
Also,
and
the
he's gonna
cat
be like,
has water
I think
breathing.
they're dead.
I don't think
I
they
think,
did.
And the
I think
dog.
they must be dead now.
This is
Nah.
this is a great Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead moment.
Okay.
Absurdist piece, and I love it.
Okay.
Alright,
So that's that.
alright, so we'll, I
I
don't
like
know.
that. We're not boring, are we?
Who's gonna do the
No,
next thing?
no.
I think it's maybe us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two. The people who decided to go down.
We went down the 7th one. I'm not sure which one the 7th one is, though.
They all look pretty similar to me.
Hopefully we don't get lost.
Hopefully we don't die.
You will get super lost.
You will see.
They're all
Probably.
looking the same. They all look the same. You could use them. You could like have the thought from Warren and then hurry back, but mark which one you went through using the stone.
Alright,
I don't know.
let's let the DM
You
go.
guys have a stone. You guys have a rope. You have things. You go down one of these hallways. There are, just little alcoves and little, kind of support struts that go up to these they're fairly low ceilings. They're not so low that Nakia hits his head or anything. They're close. And,
They gotta be spacious for
This
me.
one keeps going. This one has two sides that go around.
There's
they
nothing
curve.
interesting in these alcoves, right?
Not really. They just seem to be more just
For support.
space, and just kind of like recessions from the supports that kind of stick out a little bit.
Okay.
So this hallways you come up to, they kind of curve sort of back, and then looking down each one, there are doors as well. Doors. These ones with official doors that kind of are inset that face, kind of on the outer edge of what you might think might be another circle around the inner one.
Wait, so if I get this right, so there's two branching and they curve. It looks like it's another circle, but there's doors on the outside going around, or just two doors?
So the one the direction you came from, there's a wall facing you, and then there's a hallway that curves sort of back.
Okay.
It seems to curve maybe around back again, encircling the other room you were in. So maybe they all led to the same sort of other hallway. And then there are doors facing away, the one you're facing towards. There are doors that are kind of unevenly spaced as well, so you'd have to go out, go down, and then go through. It's a bit of a chore, but it's also kind of okay.
Okay, so where we sank down, there's that circle. That's the inner circle, is what you're saying, and then
You're in the
see
outer
circle.
circle.
Okay. I want to open one of the doors.
Okay. Which one, left or right?
Left. Mama always told me to go right, so I choose the left.
Yeah.
Oh dear. You walk over. You try to open the left one. This one's locked.
How about the right one?
Well,
It's too bad somebody's not a thief.
I know.
Did you have a visible lockpick, by the way?
I'm assuming so. Yeah, I have lockpicks. I have to. Oh,
It had to be visible for the dream world. You have to manifest
Evil laugh. It's the evil DM laugh.
I'm just doing that because it's the rules I've set up, and unfortunately, that's the rules you're gonna have to live with.
I know. I'm just
gonna
trying to
open
think
up
if.
the other door.
Yeah, do that.
That one's open.
Let's go through that one because Ku's
I'm gonna
concerned
look over
about
to the
making
left.
things manifest.
Is the
late
left
dream
door
world.
on the left? Is that locked door on the left there? On the other
left
side?
door is on this. The left
Like-
door is locked from the way you came in. The right door is unlocked.
Yeah, but I go in and I look to the left and I want to see if that same door is on the other side.
It's not. This room is sort of more of a long, large hallway. This one has a lot more space. There are kind of old pots in this hall. They're kind of these urns that are super old and super ornate. They're this lacquered black and gold and sometimes reds. Just a very kind of vibrant colors.
Do you think if we smash them, money will come out?
Nope.
They
Can
have
I
these
investigate
ornate-
it though?
Oh yeah. Give me an investigation check.
Hey, that's pretty good. 22.
Sure. You see all these pots, they are mostly empty. There aren't even bugs in them or anything or dust, really. It's kind of eerie. And they have all these really ornate designs around the edges. And give me a history check or a religion check. Which one do you prefer?
You know, it doesn't matter because it's the same score.
Cool. Well, decide.
That is also 22. Let's do history. Religion wouldn't make as much sense.
Fair enough.
Okay.
You see sort of shapes and symbols. You see kind of characters that are kind of reminiscent. You see a sort of a figure that's this weird sort of giant, and it's just holding all these heads in its arms. And you would know this is a monster from fairy tales and stuff that you've heard of. It was the Head Taker.
And his name is Brando Bars.
Nope. Nope.
No,
That's not-
it's just this horrible nightmare thing from the gnomes' history. They fought these horrible monsters, and this was one of the ones that used to like be an absolute nightmare. No one's really sure if the gnomes were invaders or if these monsters were the invaders. It was so old, but it's one of those things gnomes tell, and they're just like they fear this
Oh my.
because they think it was real. There's not a lot of proof anymore, but there's always this like vestigial fear about this to a gnome.
Like the Irish cannibal family. That's a thing. Is this just on one of the
This
urns,
is
or
just
is
one
this
urn.
all?
You see
all
other
of them?
symbols, other ones that are fairy tales, other ones that are just legit historical people. They're just all sorts of things, and tons of them you don't even know.
Interesting. I'll probably relay information to Nakia as we're going by, like talking about these things. Neat. I assume we continue.
If you want to.
Yes.
All right. You keep
The
going.
head taker's
Basically,
interesting,
you
though.
just go down this hallway. It's full of these pots all along the walls. One is in the way. It's a larger, fatter pot that's kind of been knocked over. It's kind of blocking your way. You can go around it. You know, there used to be some kind of dirt in it that's just sort of on the floor now.
Maybe it's like the ashes. I'm not gonna step on the dirt.
I mean, the pot's like 3 feet across, it's fat, and it's like 4 feet tall. Kind of on its side, just this blur.
It's like as tall as I am.
Yeah, and the dirt is about a foot or two just off. And
That's a lot
it just
of
kind of
ashes.
goes down. Yeah. Yeah. You guys go over this, what do you do?
I'll go around it if I can.
You go around it.
Pick me up!
Okay. I'll pick her up.
Cool. And you do.
Cool.
Can you believe that she's like 100 years older than you are?
At least 50. Pick me up.
The universal child.
All right. So you go through, and there's this sort of other door as well. At the end of this hall.
Go through the door.
You open the door. You enter a kind of strange room now.
Crash and die. Anyway.
Hey. So,
Don't jinx it.
this room is really interesting, and I'll explain it when we get it back to you guys.
Cool.
Let's go to Berl.
Yeah!
Berl, you are heading back down the stairs, I guess, to the other town you could have gone to. Mm-hmm. You begin down the steps towards this town, and you kind of feel really weirded. This town is weird.
Probably looking around very rarely.
Alright, it looks pretty normal-ish. It's just this abandoned town. Some of the windows are open, some of them are closed. You know, what are you looking for?
Anything that's not abnormal that would tell me like why I'm feeling like this is weird.
Okay.
We're back in the desert temple.
Yeah. But, you, give me a perception check.
From which game?
Is only going to be an 11.
You don't really see anything super weird, but the mist here is kind of odd. And you do notice that the road does get blocked. There are more buildings, and there are different paths around it. It's just a maze of alleys at this point. And the buildings just get taller as you go further.
I'll also take a look inside one of the nearest buildings.
Alright, you look inside. There's a sort of a foyer and a tiny living room, that you'd invite people into and have tea. Things like that. There's also a small kitchen nearby. It's nothing fancy. It's got a couple stuff still remaining, but pots and pans that used to be hanging have fallen down because the hooks have, broken and just gotten old. Yeah.
Okay.
There's maybe a staircase or two that leads up to the next floor.
Alright, well I don't want to touch anything because I have a feeling that's not going to end well, so I'll just quietly leave the house.
Okay.
And, the paths that go around, do any of them look any different than the other? The paths that are going through the buildings.
The left path goes on for maybe another set of houses and alleys that branch off before it gets blocked and then branches again. The other one is blocked sooner, but it's maybe a bit bigger.
We'll go down the one that is bigger.
Okay, you go right and go down the one that's a bit bigger, and you hit that end, and there are just buildings blocking those as well. The buildings are slightly taller. There's like 5 floors now, which is kind of ridiculous, and each floor gets a bit more encroached, as the medieval houses are. They're built overhanging, and there's little pillars, so it's starting to get a bit like more of a building than it is just in the middle of the road.
Interesting. Is it the further in the town you go, the higher the buildings get?
It seems like, as you do, like the building blocking off each path, kind of, you could take from here. Each of those are about 6 floors.
I want to try to get in as far as I can and see how tall the tallest building is.
Where do you want to go? Left, right?
Am I blocked off completely, or are there paths on this?
There are paths to either direction.
Whichever looks like it's going to go further into the middle of the town.
Okay. They both look the same. But maybe the left one feels more natural just based on basic, you came in and then you turned right, So if you go left, you're going forward again.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that then.
Okay. You do, and you hit this kind of blockage. There's 2 paths. One of them is actually not another to another branch of alleys. It's a staircase that goes down beneath another building, and there's just an end. And the left one goes to more alleys and a block and kind of turns. And, the buildings just get taller there, but this on the right is beneath this rather imposing sort of, almost kind of fortressy tower. It's a bit more, fortified.
Let's take a look at the staircase, since that's something that's not consistent with everything else.
There's a few empty torches in, kind of wall holes. They're just old and burnt.
You can probably replace them with new torches.
You can. Do you have those torches on you?
They were in my bag.
Yeah, but they weren't visible, so you don't have them.
True.
Welcome to dreams.
Nothing's
They are
visible.
interesting.
It's like, you have nothing, by the way.
And if I'm gonna try to roll
You're
a
in the
manifest,
dream
I
world
gotta...
naked as a baby.
Well, it just gives you a reminder of how much those are valuable tools.
Well, we're gonna probably say it's gonna be a 6. Yeah.
Because everyone forgets it, but those are important.
I know, having a
Maybe
torch.
charisma saving.
Makes a big deal if you don't have dark
I
vision.
get another
Having
4.
bread.
Maybe it's 3, 7, 6
Oh, yeah.
plus 13 to try and pull out some
Things that
torches.
just want something to eat
Okay.
start eating you. You're like,
So I know you do have disadvantage.
That was with disadvantage.
Not bad, 13.
Yep.
You do manage to manifest a torch.
Yay!
It is, one of those torches you'd had, and, you've got it. Do you have something to light it with?
It didn't come out of the bag lit! If I had the idea of pulling it, a lit torch out of my bag.
Okay, you pulled out a lit torch.
Okay.
It's on fire, and it almost lights your bag on fire, but it doesn't because, you managed to pull it up just fast enough.
I'm gonna use this lit torch to light the other 2 that are on the wall.
You try, and one of them lights, but the other one is just burnt out.
Alright, we'll remove the
Just
burnt out one
basically,
and
yeah.
replace it with the one that's lit.
Okay, they're lit, and you are visibly able to see there's a door. It's got a kind of an iron knocker, sort of a ring handle, and it's got sort of a barred kind of window
Where
slot.
they slide the thing.
Oh,
and
not
see
even
the
that,
eyes.
just bars that are from the door, and they're part of the door, but they just are visible there because the wood's cut out there in this sort of square, and it's reinforced with metal. So it's sort of more of like a peephole that's like, just reinforced.
Interesting. Alright, well, I will knock on the knocker.
Okay. You make a knocking noise.
Okay.
And there's this, sound as you do. It's pretty resounding. The door is really sturdy, and nothing really seems to happen.
I'll try and call out and be like, hello!
What do you say? Just hello?
Just be like, is anybody there? I need to get in. Seek
Interesting.
refuge.
Yeah, nothing seems to happen. There's the handle on the door.
If I try to push it open.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it pushes open.
Oh, okay. Well, this unlocks. Okay. This is walking.
Oh no, there are locks. They're just not locked. As you push the door open, you just know the locks are actually just unlocked.
Okay. Well, we'll just walk in then.
Okay. You walk right in, and you see this sort of like, kind of classic hall, and then it ends in more stairs going down. But there's just sort of doors. There's about 4 on each, 4 on each side. And we'll get back to you in a bit. Next people,
the 2 of us?
yeah, oh my gosh, you guys are making this rough for me.
We're not doing anything.
I have to keep in
groups.
mind where everybody is, and this is...
At least we're all in proper rows.
That's true. We're in sections.
It does not help.
I don't think Bran and I are really doing anything. We're just still here. Bran is. Are you still convinced that-
Brand's gonna take out one of his IOUs.
Brent, you do feel this presence calling you again. Your power calls you to the...
You better
the
listen
pool
to it
again.
this time.
We never resolved this, but I think I still have the rope tied around my waist. That
Yes, you do.
okay, because I don't.
Let's say that we do, since you never went in,
Okay.
we didn't really have a reason not to keep
So, I'm going to take out those IOUs because that's literally the only thing that I have with. Oh, I'd have to manifest them.
Yeah, you would.
I'm not going to do that then.
Okay.
Well, no, he would try. Not thinking about it. So I have to roll charisma.
Yeah, just charisma saving throw.
I guess
Since you're not thinking as hard about it, you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you don't know that you have to manifest them,
21.
they're just there.
Yeah, you easily do. They are exactly as you remember.
Okay. So here's the deal. I got the shakes again, and I know. I don't know.
That
You've been
looked at-
shooting heroin.
He's a druggie. That's why. No, he's like, okay, I got the shakes again, and
That's why he wasn't part of.
and I think they're dead.
Church group.
And I know that you don't think they're dead. So here's some money.
That's distinctively not money. Sorry, I can't say that.
That's not what I was told.
That's
but that's
distinctively
okay.
not money.
That's not what I was told, but that's right. So here's some. You get these if they're not dead, and I keep them if they're dead.
Are we making a
I don't
bet?
think he gets the concept of betting and things. All right, here I go.
I don't want your debts, he calls as you go into the water.
I don't want your
And then he jumps in.
I don't want.
toys, Bran. Did you fill your pockets with rocks?
I don't. No. He didn't. No.
Is he just gonna like?
It's gonna
you
take
could
him
probably
40
use
minutes.
the wall to crawl your way down if you want to.
You can just swim down, because, I mean,
It takes some work though to
It does.
swim against buoyancy.
at least you can breathe.
Yeah.
Well, can he breathe, or is he like we don't really know how the
You
full form of the
breathe.
breathing takes.
You breathe underwater, and you also have full access to normal breathing.
But is your oxygen there to keep you buoyant, or is it replaced by water that you're breathing? That's my
I think
question.
that's up to DM
Osmosis.
choice.
You're essentially able to breathe as if you
My question
could
is
breathe water.
Am I sinking
So
despite
now
the
he-
fact that I okay?
So now his
your lungs
lungs are
are not
filled-
burdened by water, basically.
Okay.
You can still breathe like it's normal, but there's water.
Okay. Well, then
So
that
your
means
lungs are
that
filled with water.
It maybe feels a bit like wet and gross a bit, and you know you're underwater, and you know your lungs are like, oh, I'd probably be dead, but you feel pretty good.
well, Bran does not feel good. He's again flailing all the way down because he does not know how to swim, and it is dark.
Well, you go until the rope goes taut.
Yes, he will go down the 60 feet until the rope goes taut.
Again.
Again.
Rope goes taut, Warren, what do you do?
Should let go of the rope.
Yeah. He's gonna like hold on to it for a bit and be like, so the rope is resisting for a bit. Are you gonna pull on it to signal him? Or are you gonna?
Well, I don't know if we talked about any signals. He just jumped in with the rope pod still. I don't think even. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, well after a few seconds of resistance, he's eventually just gonna quietly let go. Like, okay, this is.
I think he's gonna try and pull
Gonna
Warren
start
in. I think he's gonna try and pull really hard and hope that Warren
You
falls
should
into.
roll a strength and a saving for that.
No, Warren's definitely. I guess it would be a reflex save.
Yeah, so like a deck save.
Contest.
Okay.
I love this idea.
What am I rolling?
Strength. Strength.
Strength versus dex.
Whether
Use
whether
them
he
all
lets
to
go or
brace.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presence in mind, really.
How far I get pulled down?
What'd you get? I had a
If
13.
you can pull in, you just can fish yourself.
I had a
down
13 on
I
strength.
know, right? Okay, so that's 11 for dexterity.
Nice.
So that
So I won.
means.
Ah!
So you just get yanked in.
Warren gets yanked in and can let go of the
So you
rope
don't have
after
enough-
Warren's been yanked in.
So you're all wet, and then
So
you can let
you
go.
went
of the
down
rope.
like 10 feet and then you just like dropped the rope and swam back up and you're just like, "Bleh."
The cat is super upset.
I mean, the cat can also breathe underwater, but it's also very angry.
The cat is kind of like, oh, you've ruined my hair.
Yeah. Gets out of the bag like in that way where they like trying to shake off their
I think
the back feet.
I think from
Just like,
Bran's
this is so much
perspective,
work.
I think from Bran's perspective, he's not thinking straight, but that was trying to like get you to pull him up. And now he's just falling again, and now he feels very
So Bran
abandoned.
falls and has no presence of mind to stop himself. Warren, what do you do
panic mode.
before we move on?
Poor Bran. I start shaking myself at like, that was rude.
I will clarify that at this point, Bran is in the fetal position,
That is
In the
acceptable.
water.
just sinking.
However, Bran,
Oh no.
You, because I rolled this while you were doing this, and I got a good roll, so hey, what do you know? You do feel... Well, you feel like you're not just left to die. You do feel comforted.
Oh,
God loves you.
God loves you.
Yeah, the source of your powers is protecting you a bit. You're not as wet, actually. You feel pretty dry. You can breathe air. It doesn't feel like you're breathing water.
I think he's still giving me fetal position, but a little more comforted.
Yeah.
And now, since
Prayer
he's
thanks.
surrounded by water or air, he's just falling straight down.
No, it's flying the same speed.
Or I'm floating back up because I'm in a bubble.
You know, it's hard to tell at this depth and this darkness. It's
I
kind of
don't
impressive.
think he cares either one way or the other. Like, just wants to get out of here.
Fair enough. All right. So next.
Oh no. Sorry, I just realized we didn't mark our path and Bran's gonna get there. We're not gonna be there.
You'd be surprised.
It could
I was gonna say
be.
his deity could probably
That's
lead him.
So you two,
Also,
Or you have a door that you left open that you went through, maybe.
we'll see what happens.
Yep.
So you two, you finished your hallway experience with the pots. You open this door, and you do see this kind of large circular room. It's very big. There are exactly 7 sets of stairs that go down, because this room is huge. It's about 100 feet diameter. And there are these stairs that go down from each set of the walls. You know, 7 sets of those. They all go down towards the middle, and, you know, from each of these doors, there's essentially, in these stairs, there's basically water running down the stairs into the middle. And there's just sort of this flooded kind of room zone, and then there's this sort of door at the very bottom that's a circle that you could probably pull up underwater.
So there's 7 staircases going down
Yeah,
around this
including the one
circular
you're
room.
on, but yours is dry. The others have water running down them.
and the
I'm
center
not
is
sure
filled
if
with
I'm
water.
picturing this. Can you like draw it for me?
Sure. Let me grab a piece of paper.
We're trying to draw all this out.
I know.
It's hard because we now have like 3 different parties that we're doing.
You know, I just realized Warren is all about.
Technically
Isn't
now
that one of
it's
his biggest
4.
fears?
Yeah, that's what he doesn't like. So I was thinking about that too.
I thought you were the hermit that liked being alone.
Not
That's
on
why you left
adventures.
the hermit.
There's nobody else to protect me, or
That's true in a dangerous place.
there's no safety in numbers alone.
You do have
On
your
an
cat,
adventure.
but
The cat can only
So
do
kinda
1
like
point
this.
of damage.
This is the top down.
Let's go to the door. Let's see what happens.
which one?
Well, there's 7
There's only one,
staircases.
I mean-
There's only one door
Oh.
at the bottom of the stairs.
I thought there were 7 doors.
There
No,
are,
7
but they're-
staircases.
They're at the end
Let's
of
go to the
staircases,
door.
and they seem to be in recess.
Let's.
So,
Yeah, we're gonna go down the staircases to the trap door.
all right, you go down the staircases. There's this big old stairs. There's about 100, 200 stairs on it. It's quite long.
I counted them all.
They are
It
quite
was a
steep.
game.
They are quite steep, but you do manage it.
I mean,
Good thing
I could
ours is
manage it.
the only one with no water. That would be hard to climb with water.
Yeah, so you guys keep going down. You hit the point where the water is
With no
flooded
return?
up to the stairs.
So it's continuously.
It seems stuck at this point. There might be some water extake, but it's like small little like circle things on the sides at like a certain level to prevent like this room from overflowing.
Huh. Let's try and open the door
Okay.
and not die.
Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds like a plan.
And like hold the door as it opens and try not to get swept away.
yeah.
If that happens.
See what happens.
Yeah.
You guys swim down. You have rocks and stuff, so you can sink as well. So it does. You
That's
do get
true.
down there pretty well, and you do manage to kind of stay down there. It's got this sort of pair of handles. There's actually 7 pairs of handles.
7 pairs? So there's
Yeah.
14 handles?
Yep.
Oh boy.
And yeah, they're just all along the edges.
Hopefully we don't need 7 people.
I know. It's
We only have 5. Right?
There's
Five?
2 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's 2 of us. soon to be 3 maybe in like an hour.
In an hour.
Yeah, what do you do?
Try and open the trap door.
Give me a strength check.
That's gonna be a no for me.
Athletics if you can.
Athletics is better. That's a 13 for me, actually.
14.
You get advantage because you can lift so much stupid weight.
Yeah. I rolled an 8.
You have an
You just said
advantage.
you have advantage.
Roll it
Oh.
again. That's what he meant.
Still 14?
It is 12
No.
plus 6.
18?
18.
That's pretty good. You managed to pull this thing. It's actually not really a door, at least conventionally. You pull it, and this thing just sort of starts sliding up with you.
The door?
And it's this whole thing is more of a platform of wood. It does look like a door though, and it does kind of have a gap beneath it. And there seems to be sort of a middle central pillar that seems to be connecting it to a lower one, perhaps deeper in. And as you pull this thing upwards, kind of the water level does start to drain a bit. But also you do see that there's more of an opening and there's nothing blocking you from going into that area where the thing was.
What if this is like the plug to the ocean, where all of the water will just go away now?
Cool.
Or at the bottom of the sea.
I'm all for keep going.
Okay.
I mean, there's no other way forward but forward, right?
That logic seems solid to me. Let's go down.
He's easily
Deeper.
convinced.
Go deeper.
Okay. So you guys going?
They are going in.
There is a door in this, just one, along one of the walls. It's a,
Seven-sided door.
it's kind of a bit more solid than some of the other doors. This one's not wood, it's made of stone of some kind, and materials that are very much less water weak. And as you go into this, though, you do know that the platform above is slowly going down again as well. But you think you could push it upwards if you wanted to get out again.
Okay.
I mean,
So we have a
pulled
way
it
out
upwards.
still if we
Maybe
wanted to.
it might take a strength check.
That's fine. I have a strong man.
Alright, so you get to this door. It's open if you want to open it.
Yes.
We open the open door.
Alright, the water kind of pulls you in a bit because there's no water in this door. And you guys are kind of just sucked in, and the door kind of does this weird thing where there's actually two doors. And it
Almost like
reverses.
Like
And,
one of those
so
spinning
the
doors.
water comes out, and then all of a sudden the door shuts again, and you realize there's these two doors, and they're on sort of like a track with each other. And so when you move one door, the other door moves, and they just sort of spin until they lock in position.
That's cool.
Interesting.
Well, we're on the other side of the
And
door.
you guys are dried off. You can breathe air. There's a door blocking your vision forward, but there's also, you can see these long kind of hall of mirrors and, stuff ahead from just the sides of your vision. We'll go to Berl now. Berl,
Yeah.
We're really
you're in this sort of basement place. There's 4 doors on each side, and then there's the stairs at the end. What do you do?
4 doors and it's a total of 8 doors.
8 doors.
Can I peek inside each of those doors really quick?
Yeah. Where do you start?
Doors.
With this
You've
side.
got
and
7. She's
I'll
got
go
8.
back and forth.
Okay. You look in the right door, you peek, it's unlocked, and you see a empty room.
Okay.
For us. I think that 7's important.
Alright,
for
and then
us.
the next one on the other side.
Alright, you peek into that one, and you see a long hall. Dark, and you don't know what's at the end of it.
Okay, and what's on this one over here?
On the right side, second door,
Yeah.
you see a set of stairs going down again, and it just goes into darkness.
Okay. And then over here?
You see a set of stairs going up.
Alright, and this one?
You open the door, there's a wall.
There's a wall. Okay.
Solid stone.
Okay.
As if no door had ever been there.
Alright, what's in this one?
There is a pit. There's a hall, and then it just goes straight down.
Okay, I'm gonna close that door. And then the last one on the right side.
Maybe it's a pass
There's a
way
car.
down.
Huh?
Maybe it's a pass way down.
Nothing.
Maybe.
I was just playing out for fears of rugs. I was like, there's a rug.
We might all end up at the same
Well, that's
place.
not entirely off. There's a
I forgot what we're looking for.
sort of room. It's
I don't know if we ever. I don't know if
kind
we're
of
looking for anything.
just a bunch of junk,
Like we're trying to
and
say
then there's a
no.
hole from the ceiling where you can see sort of that faint, sort of not daylight, not night, a light falling down from above.
Interesting. What kind of junk, out of curiosity?
There's a metal bar, there's a broken wooden crate remains, there's some remnants of sewing tools, there's a broken hat, it's just torn in half. There's a whole bunch of junk. I could go on. It's just all sorts of things in a pile.
Alright, I won't worry about it. Then the last door on the left side.
On the left side, there is a ladder that goes up.
Ladder that goes up. And then this hall continues down.
Yeah, and then there's the down hall.
Oh, so many options. Alright, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's roll a dice and see where we go. Come back. Says we go down 3, which is the ladder.
Cool. You go get on the ladder. It's made of iron. It's pretty solid, pretty cold. It doesn't have anything to make it less slippery, so it is pretty slick. But you can grab it just fine. It's just cold and unnatural to your hands. And it takes a lot of effort to get down and kind of go down. And you're going into darkness if you go up. But you can.
I think before I do that, I'm gonna head back, grab one of the lit torches, and
Alright, you go back and you kind of open the door that you came through in the beginning, and there's just a long, dark hallway.
oh, okay. Well, never mind that.
And then we'll go to the next people. Alright, so,
This
Bran, you wake up.
I wake
You come
up.
to focus on the floor.
Okay.
You feel a bit bruised. You seem to have taken 1 point of damage. And, but you otherwise are fine. And, you know, you do feel
Can I look around?
pretty alright. Yeah, you can look around. There are 7 doorways that open up to a sort of outer hall.
Any distinguishing features about the room that I'm in, or the
Yeah, there's this sort of mossy rug thing that is kind of branchy and kind of natural in a weird way, but it is pulsing with life. And then there's this mirror reflective edge around this room that seems to reflect any light source that's provided. It's a little bit too bright in here, to be honest, and there's not really any source of why.
Okay. Well, I'm
There are
gonna
7 doors just around the edge of the walls, so you can just
like no identifying marks.
There are no identifying marks.
I'm gonna yell, "You guys
However,
dead?"
there's a rock near one of them.
I'm gonna yell, "Are you guys dead?"
Can we?
You guys
hear
don't
him?
hear him.
We don't hear you.
Okay. Well, that's the only one that looks like it has any distinguishing features, so that's where I'm gonna go.
Cool. Bran, you go this way. There's sort of this dead end. There's sort of this outer circle hallway thing, you know, that goes in each direction, and there are doors on the outside of it. You can see that one of the doors, the one on your right, is slightly open.
I'm gonna go through the slightly open door.
All right, you enter a hallway full of urns and pots.
Urns. Is it lit?
Nope.
I think Bran
It's
should
very
give one
dark.
of his famous hour-long
But
speeches
it's
to
not as
respect the
dark
dead.
as the dark thing you went through before to get here. This is just dim. It's just hard to make things out. There's just a bunch of pots on the way through. But you do see, kind of at the end, there's sort of light coming through maybe the cracks of another door.
That is very exciting to Bran, and he will go towards the light.
Cool. As you go, you need to make a dexterity saving throw.
I do?
Yeah, as you go through, there's a pot that you almost step on, and what'd you roll?
An 18 plus 3, so 21.
Not bad. You managed to definitely like stop and be like, oh, there's a big pot that was just on the side that was just barely visible. And you managed to avoid it. You also see this sort of dirt. And it does seem sort of like, ash and dirt and fine dust.
I'm gonna light it on fire.
With what?
My divine, whatever it was.
Sacred
All right.
flame.
Sacred flame. As I do with all things that have dead and passed.
All right. The room lightens immensely, and you begin to hear
Oh no.
soft voices and soft noises just emanate through the room.
Okay, I'm honoring you with my sacred flame.
You should
From these ashes though that you've burned as well, you begin to see sort of this figure, just kind of like they're not really there, but there's just sort of these phantoms of this person, thing. This sort of large, rotund, almost ogre-ish person. They had these sort of like kind of odd horns that weren't really intimidating, but they were there, and they were just kind of like doing a lot of laughter. And so you hear this really hearty laugh.
I'm going to give him a bow of respect.
This sort of like phantoms, one of them just sort of like, just sort of bows. It kind of nods its head. It's a bit fat and kind of gross, but it does, and then just kind of fades into dust again.
Okay. And then I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
In the big pot?
Huh?
Was that in the big pot? Haha. I knew that.
You do feel like you have pleased your deity. So you get a +1 to your saving throws for the
You got
rest
the
of
warm
this.
You better remember it
rest.
this time.
Deity pleased. +1.
Do we even know who your deity is?
Nope.
We know his holy symbol though.
It's a wheel.
It's a little.
His deity is
It's
definitely lawful
It's a
good.
toy wagon wheel. And I'm figuring it out as I go.
I love it. It's your personal quest is to find out who you actually worship.
No, it's just something that, I just don't really know. It's more of an instinctual thing.
He encountered divine power and he worships this divine force that he doesn't understand.
Huh.
I don't
I like
really
it.
I don't really understand it, but it's more, like I said, it's more of an
It's
instinctual.
actually not that uncommon of a way to be introduced to, divinity in this world.
You're kind of an agnostic as far as.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, I just know that I have a deep and abiding respect for things that have died. So,
All right. So you get through this hallway. There's this door at the end. It's actually cracked slightly open. That's why there's a light coming out of it.
like that.
Yeah. You want to go through?
Yes, I do.
And you open the door. You see this platform that's been raised in the middle, and the water. You see this room with the 7 stairs.
Okay.
And you see this platform in the middle has been raised out of the middle, and then there's this sort of gap into it that more light is kind of shining through a bit, and then it's gone.
The light's gone.
Yeah, there was this extra light, and then there's none.
Well,
It's your light.
wow. I'm gonna go towards the light.
Cool. So you go down, and you notice the platform slowly going down, but it has all these handles, and it looks like you could pull it up if you wanted to try. And
What's going down?
get back in this middle platform that lets you go to where the light had come from. And it looks like there's also a sort of doorway down there.
So I would have to pull the handles. Is that kind
You
of?
have to roll a strength check to try and push this platform back up so you can get in, because it's sinking just a little bit.
Ah,
So you'd have to use your physical bronze.
strength
to get
check
in.
it is. 19.
We believe in
Cool.
you, Bran.
You pull
Nice.
it right up, easy.
Good rolls today.
We believe in Bran.
I say that, but then it means I'm gonna get a 1 next time.
Maybe. It could happen.
So you managed
These
to pull
things
this up relatively easy. It's not as heavy as you'd think. The water actually makes it just slow, less than hard,
I just love how much
especially
this is
when you're above it.
true.
And you pull it up, and
Tiny.
you can get right in and go down into this doorway. Sure. Breathe just fine.
Okay.
and there's this door that's made out of stone. You can kind of push it in.
Okay.
And you want
Is it the only door that's evident?
it? Yeah.
Then yeah.
All right. So you push this door, and you get thrown in. The water sucks you in as the water gets, pulled in, and the door opens. And then this other door closes behind you, and you're thrown into this, and you're pretty close to these two.
Like, I'm with them now?
Yeah, you can
Do
see
we
them.
hear it?
Yeah, your guys are right next to each other.
Well, hey!
Hi!
Hey, you made it.
You made it!
You're not dead.
Wait, where's everybody else?
I think they're dead.
Oh,
I thought you were dead too. I made a bet. I think I lost the bet. But I think they're dead now.
What makes you say that? Were they getting attacked?
Who knows at this point? All I know is I jumped in because I got the tinglies. And now I'm here.
I mean, there's many reasons why we get tinglies.
I'm following the light.
Oh, okay.
Is that why you're getting the
It
tinglies?
hasn't steered me wrong so far. No, it just happens every once in a while. It's an instinctual thing.
I would say you need to go get that checked out. But you're kind of the doctor here.
Yeah,
So you may want to check yourself out.
Ooh! Ow!
Good question. Good idea. I like how you think, Nakia.
Yeah.
What are you guys up to?
I mean,
We're in this room.
we're going deeper.
You guys
Why?
do see, going through this, there's this hallway of mirrors. It's not really mirrors, but they're these sort of the walls are these sort of frames, and there's this mirror reflective kind of wall material that goes all the way down.
Don't tell.
Yeah.
Don't tell him this, but Warren's really boring. And I think he's so boring that it made Berl run away. So, yeah. Berl went off on her own. Warren's up there being boring, and here we are.
I did teach Warren how to play poker.
There, see?
True.
Yeah, Berl did seem a
We played
little
some I
off today.
Spies.
What are we doing?
Well, I guess we're continuing. There hasn't been a dead end yet.
Yeah.
We're going to dead. Okay.
We're looking
Far
for
be
dead
it from me
ends.
to question you guys.
Alright. So you guys are there. Warren, how's it going up top?
Warren does not like to be alone. So he's gonna
You're
give
not
this.
totally alone. Your friend is there, just kind of giving you the eye, and when no one else is there, it kind of looks around and kind of hibbly hobbles over and doesn't face you with its face, but it does kind of sit next to you. Just kind of
The wretched? I
yeah,
love the
and
wretched.
just kind of puts its eye so that you're in the corner of it and you can tell it's, sidelonging you, but it also kind of sits down and makes
So
sort
as-
of this gross ugh, but it's also sort of a soft version of that.
So as a
almost
favored
cute.
enemy, I get an advantage on wisdom checks, and
It's like a pug.
it's like an ugly
It's so
plug. Yeah.
ugly. It's cute.
And
That's
intelligence.
not what I'm
okay.
getting from it.
I get an advantage on intelligence checks to recall information about them. So that would be
What are you trying to recall?
a 12 and go a 4. Well, I guess we'll have to go for a 12. The wretched, they clearly live a horrible existence, right? Is there ever any, they are perpetually hungry, they are perpetually devouring, is there anything that isn't horrible in their existence?
They have spa day or something.
Yeah, are they ever not hungry? Do they have sources of
The
food?
wretched are actually, they are strange. There's not too much known about them. You would know this as well. That people don't study the wretched very much because there doesn't seem to be much to study. But they are native to these strange dream worlds and also certain places where dreams and reality sort of merge, especially nightmares. And you would know that they tend to pursue sources of food, which is life. And you know, they are. Some people believe some of the, you know, the more magic-y types, the more arcane, knowledgeable people who've bothered to study the wretched at all know that, or at least they think they know, that the wretched are manifestations of disgust and hunger and biological necessities and the importance of life. As it's rough and painful and it's weird and it's all wrong. Okay. So all the bad parts of life just manifested in as emotions is what they believe creates the wretched.
So they kind of like pose.
They're not necessarily evil, they're just the manifestation of feelings of wretchedness about life.
He's going to allow it to sit next to him, and he's going to see if he can manifest some more food out of his pack. Something.
Give me a roll.
Okay, so I got
disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Oh,
remember, because you did fail.
Okay,
I have to be fair.
It's a
Even though
charisma.
I'll let you defeat it.
So it's a 16 on one roll and a 10 on the other roll.
Just a 10.
Just a 10.
You pull out like a sort of an old apple core.
I was about to say an apple core.
Oh, that's mean.
Well, the
Well,
other
that's
one
what I
ate the
have.
banana peel
What
happily.
do you do with it?
I don't think he cares.
I lay it down between the two of us so that it can get at it.
Yeah.
The wretched kind of like has trouble getting at it. It's a little too close to you, and it has trouble not facing its face towards you. But it does manage to like side nibble it into its mouth, and then kind of like drag it away, you know, like out of the corner of its mouth, just like kind of like, and then kind of get it in a better position, and then it's just sort of like nodding on it for a bit.
Okay, then I'm going to stand up and stand behind it, and I'm going to shoot it twice.
You gonna shoot it?
You're gonna shoot it?
Oh my goodness. This got dark.
I know. It lives a miserable, horrible existence that never stops being horrible.
Oh, look at that.
But
It's
it loves you.
content with you, and you're gonna turn
And then
around
when I
and kill it.
leave, it's going to be a desperate, horrible creature
It's
again.
in a dream world.
That's such a war. This is such a warren decision to do, but it's so.
I rolled an 11 on the attack.
It's like Galaxy
Okay.
Quest.
It is point blank.
Yes, and it is not paying attention to you.
You rolled an 11, you're gonna give it a miserable death.
I'm going to give it a fast death.
What would you roll again?
I'm going to give it a really quick death. That's an 11. Oh no. This isn't going to go how I thought it would.
Bad idea. Bad idea.
Last time I tried to give it.
Abort! Abort! Tried to save your
So
life
that's
back
13.
there. It did.
Okay, so you plant an arrow right next to its face, and it just
Oh.
kind of turns to look at you, and it gives you the eye, and just like looks in your eye.
Gosh,
Bran would be so mad.
dang
right
it!
You know, it does nom on the arrow though, and kind of like pulls the arrow away so it can start nomming on the arrow.
Warren does not shoot again. Warren sits down. I can't shoot it while it's looking at me.
The last time I tried to take something out of its misery, we started a face-throwing fish fight.
Oh, that was bad.
All right, well that's the end of
Not
Warren's
technically
turn.
fish,
He's
but
not gonna
alright.
do anything. He's just gonna be up there.
So what
No.
Bad decision.
He sits back down. That's it. That's the end of his turn.
For as much as he
Alright,
doesn't like
Warren,
being alone, he's
Fight
very
of
insistent
bad
on staying
decisions.
alone.
I know.
It gives me the eyes.
Yeah, you begin to feel the mists kind of getting a bit closer, and it just feels super lonely. You are alone with your friends,
That you tried to murder.
and things are just kind
Tried
of
to
terrible,
euthanize.
and you're just like everybody that you could really like sort of humanize with, they're gone. You don't feel any connection to them at all. You're like, where are they? Who knows? You're beginning to feel pretty alone.
Okay.
And the mists are getting thicker, and it's getting harder to see away from the forest, and
Bran's
you know, away from the barn.
Okay. I think that's where we leave him for now.
Okay, cool. So Berl, did you do before Warren?
I was gonna go try and grab the torch from outside the door, but then the door turned into a long dark hallway, so...
Yes, that's where we left off you. You open this long dark hallway, and you hear footsteps.
Oh!
Soft, slow footsteps.
Where are they coming from?
The dark hallway you open.
Go back to the ladder.
Okay.
Oh no!
Go back to the ladder, you close the door. That's what I thought.
No.
So you go up the ladder, and it's dark.
Okay. Well,
Very
let's go
dark.
through the dark ladder.
Alright, you decide to go up the dark ladder, and as you step in kind of these ladder steps, you find one of the rungs is kind of missing on the ladder. It's been pulled off, the metal's just been rusted. But you manage to keep climbing, even though it's a bit of a gap for someone so small. And eventually at a point where it kind of brings you up to another floor, and it kind of brings you to another thing, but you can't see anything. There's no light, and you don't have dark vision.
I don't. I'll try and pull out that orb again and see if I
You
can
pull out
get
the orb.
any light from it.
It provides this staticky light as well. It provides you with about 10 feet of vision in these kind of weird linear sparks. Sparks that are more like lines and splinters than they are any sort of natural shape.
Well enough, at least it's something. Alright, within the 10 feet, can I see any?
Yeah, there's another door, and that seems to be most of it. There's some windows, but they're dark. There's nothing visible outside of them.
I guess we'll open the door.
Okay. You open the door, and there's another set of stairs. This one goes down.
Okay, we'll go down the stairs.
Alright, they just spiral on downwards. And you keep going, and you can keep going. There's another spiral, and then there's another spiral, and then there's another spiral, and it just keeps going.
So it's like the endless staircase from Mario 64.
It feels like it.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
How I would probably Berl will probably try and go down these for a 15 minutes and just see if there's a bottom.
Okay, you do, and there is. You reach this point where there's actually the stairs end. There's about 10 feet, and then there's a small kind of drop. It's about, almost 8 feet down into maybe some water, and there's a door. But it just looks like this room's been flooded a bit.
Alright, you said it's a drop, or there's stairs that go down about 8 feet?
There's a small drop. The stairs do not go down 8 feet. There's an 8-foot drop into some amount of water, and it's a bit dark, pretty darn dark. It's hard to see, so you can barely make out the glint of water. And there's maybe the outline of a door.
Okay, well, it's something, and I'd rather not see what making those footsteps back there, so we'll jump down and try to get to the door.
Okay. You jump down and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Good thing my dex is so high. Oh, yes. That makes a 10.
Okay. You don't manage to keep your feet because it's this slick, wet stone beneath you, and it's a pretty solid drop. You don't hurt, though. You just land and you knocked prone. You just you're knocked over for a bit. You're just like, oof.
Now I'm all wet.
And breathing, and you're wet, and you're cold.
It's okay.
And you're
Everybody's
super
wet at this
lonely,
point.
and you feel this you can taste the mists in the air.
Ooh.
So it's got that gross fog smell. And
Like a fog machine? Like you're breathing
kinda.
from a fog machine?
Fog machine's the worst.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
it's,
make great effects on stage.
it's kind of gross. And yeah, you're there for a bit, just splashing a bit, and then there's the door, I guess.
Yeah, we'll
You
go.
get up, you pull yourself up, you go to the door, it's open.
Alright, yeah, we'll open the door.
You open the door, and there's this dark hallway ahead.
Okay, well, we're ready to go about forward.
Okay.
That's what we keep saying.
As you go, you do notice there are darker patches. They seem to be other branches off this hallway. It's hard to tell.
Peek into each one, and does anything stand out?
It's really dark, and it just keeps going.
Okay, yep, no, we'll just continue down the hall.
Okay, you hear footsteps from the right side of it. These are soft, these are slow, and they are not rhythmic. They are sporadic. Every now and then there's just a soft footstep. They don't seem to follow a pattern.
On the left one, you said?
Right.
On the right.
No.
Alright,
I wouldn't try mapping this.
Berl's curiosity is gonna get the better of her, and she's gonna peek in and just be like, hello? I'm terribly lonely.
Alright. You say that? The footsteps continue. And you actually
Love when the damn laughs.
well, you know, I have to roll for everything, and sometimes I get now ones and I'm like, hee. And so you hear like a slip and then a thunk down one of the halls, and you hear just soft like.
That one.
Berl would feel very sad and go in to try and see what happened and help whatever it is that fell.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You do know that there's still a thin layer of water on the floor, so I mean the footsteps are a bit splishy splashy.
That's a yikes for me.
You make splishy splashies, and as you do, you kind of just keep going down this hallway. You hear soft splishy splashies as well. These are not steps, though. They're more like movements in the water.
Okay.
You keep going, though, and you reach the end of this hallway. There's, you know, two edges. There's a dead end in front of you, but there's left or right. You seem to hear the noises from the right side.
Okay, we'll go check out letter 8.
All right, you go around the right side, and you keep hearing soft noises from the right. Yeah, you're just gonna go there. All right, as you do, you start to hear other noises as well, like someone's just standing back up out of the water.
Somebody who's very sad because he tripped and he fell.
Oh.
Now he's all wet.
You turn a corner and you see an outline. This sort of person is against the wall a bit. They've kind of used the wall to pull themselves up. It's hard to really make out what they look like in the dark. They're taller than you, though, just a little bit. At least, like, 5... Well, not 5 feet. That's way too much. I was going to say, like, total of 5, but I'm like, eh. They're about 6 foot tall at best.
Yeah, I'm tiny, so that would be pretty big to me.
You're like, what, 4?
Yeah, I would
something like
imagine
that.
like 3, maybe.
Yeah,
She is a young
as well.
halfling.
3 feet. Oh
Fair
man.
enough.
Maybe. Yeah,
Thinking like,
halfling
So they're
shy.
pretty big.
so like,
But you do notice they're just kind of leaning
3
against
feet.
the wall. Their head's kind of down, and they're just kind of leaning against the wall. They're just softly, like, kind of like writhing back and forth. You know that, like, shake your head, get your head clear. Moment. What do you do?
I'll be like, how are you doing? 8? I heard you fall.
When you say that,
Roll for it.
they turn, and their eyes are glowing, empty. They're just like white light, just almost blinding, just into your face. And they kind of are more illuminated than they were before, and you realize they don't have hands. They just have these sort of gross stumps, and they have 4 of them. And they're just kind of this vague approximation of a human. And they actually, you almost notice that they actually have a 5th arm, slightly protruding, but it's just sort of almost into their stomach. And they just kind of like, they look around a bit and they're kind of like dizzy, but they kind of stumble towards you. And they just kind of make this soft like noise. And yeah, you have about 5 feet between you and it.
Okay.
You'll hear your conscience
like-
say, "Get out of there!"
Be like, well, I'm gonna need a friend,
Nope,
and
spider.
you look like you can see very well in the dark. We can adventure together for a bit.
you hear, so you say that, is that an attempt to persuade?
Sure.
Give me a persuasion check. Just see how well you do that.
Persuasion is very nice.
I don't know, convincing someone to do stuff with you seems like persuasion. As a DM, I want to make people roll
It only
dice.
makes
It's
a-
my job.
Need to verify that this happens as you
Yeah.
say it does.
It only makes a 10.
10?
It's an
Alright,
average.
you're just, you're thrown off. Those eyes, they seem to stare into your soul. And they also just
They've seen things.
give you these spots, like your vision gets spotty. It's like when you like blink, you can still see the lights in your eye.
But they're like a little bit of pink or whatever.
And it kind of is like where, and it kind of stumbles towards you. Do you want to just, are you trying to avoid physical contact, or are you okay with that?
I would probably even try to reach for his little protruding hand and, like, kind of guide him.
Okay, make me a dexterity saving throw then.
Dang it!
To see if you can do that while somebody lurches forward.
Okay.
You know, and it's a precision move. It's
ready
almost
to
a martial
create a new
art move,
character.
really.
That is true. To intercept a lurching hand.
Yeah, in the dark.
That would make a 15.
Yeah, okay, you do. You manage to grab this thing sort of, the kind of wrist around the stump, and it's sort of shaky. It has this wobbly thing, and it kind of gets grabbed and it goes, and kind of like leans into that, and it's kind of like reaches out and kind of wraps its other arms around you, and let me do some math. And although it doesn't necessarily like start like choking you or anything, you are firmly grasped, and it's just grabbing onto you like desperately, like, and it's just shuddering, and it's a bit awkwardly tight. But you're grabbing its hand.
Alright, they're like, it's okay, just relax. It's alright. I'll try and pat him as best as I can. Like, it's alright, I'm here.
It begins to just whisper things like, it's up, it's down, where, when. It's just, its eyes are just staring into infinity, basically, and it's just super whiny and just super, like, you know, very confused.
Poor thing. I think if there's anything that I can use to help. I don't think I have anything. I guess I will try moving with it back the way I came.
You can, but it will not let go of you. You kind of drag it with you.
Yeah.
It seems to be okay with walking a bit, so it's not like necessarily a strength check or anything. But it is a bit of like you have to take the lead, and there's kind of a bit of like give and take, and it's kind of awkward. And every time you do, there's a bit of protest and like don't go anywhere. You get lost. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing, dude.
He was once a human.
It's like the Lost Forest and the Skull Kids.
And you just as it does hold on to you, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
No, that's not too bad though. That makes an 18.
Cool, you pass. Hey, what do you know?
You
You manage to stave it off. There's this feeling of dread and terror, and just like it's just like you feel like you have to go. You have to go. Everything's wrong, and things are everything, and you can't. You be careful. There's something there, and you manage to stave that
So
off
it's-
and keep calm.
Fear and anxiety and just
And
lostness.
You manage to keep going, and you feel this sort of shivering of the thing grabbing you kind of lessens a bit. It's still kind of hard to see, but its eyes do provide sort of light. Where are you gonna go?
Well, I try to go back the way I came before I got sidetracked and continue down that hall.
Okay, you go back to the main hall and manage to keep going down that hall. You hear other footsteps as well. And, one from the left, they're off kilter. You hear from the right, you hear fast steps just through the water, just that splashing noise. And then you hear this loud, horrifying shriek. And then you just hear like spasmodic water noises and like shrieking, and it's the most terrifying thing. And it just dents off into like moans and like sobs.
I don't think I want to go that way. I think I've got an idea of what this thing is that I've somehow coaxed to follow me, and I don't want to get any more of them.
You just make an awkward gang out of them. Just like this.
As you go ahead, you do
like
notice that this
holding hands.
kind of has this weird. This whole you keep going and you end up back at the beginning, next to the door you came in from, just going straight ahead.
Okay.
They got lost.
Yeah, it's like the Lost Woods. Okay.
Or their manifestations, like the wretched.
Yeah, they are, but it's a manifestation of a different emotion of helplessness and lost and fear and anxiety, it seems. Well, I will turn to my little buddy and I'll be like,
Yeah, you're taller than you.
My little
My little 10-foot
my new
buddy.
friends.
little John.
And I'll be like, where do you think we should go?
They only say home.
Home. Yeah, I want to go home too. Get my little
At least
orbit.
it's hard to tell. There's this rasping, there's crying, there's shaking, normal stuff.
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess we'll... my little orb thing doesn't help me any. My dungeon delver only can tell me about hidden
It
doors
fits this room a bit more.
and hidden... and
But I can't remember to switch music all the time.
Yeah.
I'm only human. Yet.
Do we have a fix?
well, I guess I'll just go straight down the hall this time and not go through any of the doors that I opened before.
Are you sure? I mean, you did that before, but you can go ahead.
No, I went... So if I'm back to where the...
No, she went out, she went right, she kind of circled around.
Circled around. Okay, so I'm not in
You went
this
right,
area.
you went another right. No, this is a different...
I thought I came back to this.
No, then you went back up the stairs, the
You know,
ladder.
you're trying to logic through something illogical. This is hilarious.
I just
You
wonder
circled
if
back
someday
essentially back to where
we'll
you
actually
started, or
find each
somehow
other
ended up back where
again.
you started.
Okay.
At this point,
You know, at this point, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just running again.
I don't know. If
I guess
we'll
I'll just
find
take
each
the
other.
nearest hallway to my...
Take all this cheese.
Right?
Do it. Do it.
Thank you.
First hallway.
Let's take a break, by the way.
Yes.
I'm not sure how we work this.
What really happened is people were like, yeah, let's do something different. And then I was just like, okay.
And Berl's
I'll
like
try.
wandering in this like dreamscape, and all of a sudden she's gonna run into Grog.
Split up and take care of things.
That would be interesting.
That's true. That's probably how our heist works. We get back together. And... That's why we suck at being a group.
Be like, Krog, you're my
Why?
only friend that's left.
We were discussing
She'll manifest.
what each of the team members
4, 5,
were, and we
6.
decided that Ku and Berl were both the catalysts of the group. And that Ku's like, I'll go this way, and Berl's like, I go that way. And it's probably because in our heists we'd split up and get things done.
And then Bran is the only one who takes a straight shot.
My rival looks
Set up the rug, by
oafish.
the way. Josh is just the straight
He
shot guy because
hates
everyone else
nobody.
won't do it.
Warren is
Dresses
the
like
anchor
me.
trying to hold everybody back from believing.
Fights with a
Not
clean
the
strength.
force that is
Speaks
What did
like
we
a
say?
salesperson.
the force that is moved upon.
Would never
Yeah.
harm an innocent.
Grog
He's
is
like the
a
neutron in this atom. He's sort of there and everything revolves in around him, and he's sort of the biggest one of it, but he's also kind of like the least notable.
Grog was more of a I'm just gonna rush
But
in.
that's the
He's
highest.
power in the
I
group.
know.
Charisma
It's a
modifier.
great.
Grog, like I said, the neutron thing was like
What?
Grog
Brock was like a rush into everything.
We were
Brandon's
cracking.
more of a
We were like
stumbling
discussing how the
around.
party messes all work, and she
Nokia is the electron at that point.
Japan. The DM is like he's like the neutron in this atom.
I would say that you're
Everything
an electron.
revolves around him, but he's like the
And,
least interesting.
Berl's an
one.
electron.
He's
And you're a
a
power.
modifier. I don't think
You're an
that's-
electron.
We're
He's
your
back
positron.
in the middle, and it's like, don't let
I'm
her crazy.
definitely
and so the forces
charismatic,
balance each
but
other because one's like, no,
I
the other one's
am
like,
of
stay.
average
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah, you and Berl are both electrons, and you're repelling.
Are you
So this
middle?
atom has one neutron, one positron, 2 electrons, and then
A quark.
A single quark.
A quark.
those are made of quarks. That's not how any of this works.
Wait, so which element am I?
You're
You're a
a
positron.
What's a
Stick in
positron?
the middle, you're the positive charge in an atom.
Which one wears mean?
You're an electron, just like you. So you run around and bounce around and cause problems.
Yes.
You're also much smaller, by the way. It was hilarious because the neutron's the largest, and now he has a great neutron because he sits in the middle and things act upon him, and he's just the biggest
Yeah,
part
but
of
what?
the.
I want to keep this atom analogy. What would Bran be?
He'd just be there.
You know what Bran is?
He's
Bran
just
is
sitting
in a
there
mission.
watching
He's
his
a
atom, like,
neutron
what
that
the
was
heck?
thrown from another atom.
Yes!
It's causing like the fusion and fission. So I don't know if we're going up or down, but see, this has 2 electrons, so it's actually, and it's only got 1 positron and 1 neutron. So this is literally just a hydrogen atom that has been hit by another thing. So it's being fused probably into helium.
No,
And
yes.
We all get high on helium.
it's a helium with a negative charge, so it's a negative isotope helium. Yeah.
Oh
So it's
my.
radioactive helium.
Yes!
I haven't thought about
Which
Now
is
we can
hilarious.
start singing
I know,
radioactive.
No,
Dude,
I've
I
forgotten all about all
love
of this
chemistry and science like that. That's how I think
It's
of
way
things.
beyond anything that I ever learned. Like, so we're going up, right?
Oh, I learned that on my own because
We're helium.
I learned that in class because it was boring when they were teaching me. I'm like, oh, no more. So, you guys see this row of mirrors, this big old hallway, and the floor is pretty reflective. It goes on down. It's hard to see at this distance, even with dark vision, because it's a long hallway. But there is sort of a circular room, and you think you see more hall at the end of it, and sort of this middle edifice, but it's hard to make out.
I'm just not listening. I'm sorry. Go forward.
I just decided to breathe, swallow, and then do that whole yawn thing at once. So my body had to reboot, and my brain had to refresh how I did everything in order, and I managed to do it. And I'm sitting here I'm alive.
I don't have all the liquid in my lungs. This is great.
Well, I was expecting to start coughing and just be a mess. So I'm just sitting here right. I have so much adrenaline, and now
So
I have
you have leveled up in
I literally
Fight or
think I
flight
just leveled up
response
in
is
real life.
active.
you got experience from breathing.
I probably would. Oh man, if levels were invisible, that'd be scary. Someone would have 9,000 each. Just why? And you have 1, and you're just how? Maybe you lose levels. I don't know.
You would. In real life, you totally would.
Yeah.
Your muscles you lose them all the time.
Yeah, stop it. Anyway, so you see this just long hallway of mirrors, and it's really dark.
Onward.
I mean, the light does kind of scatter off a bit, but not that good.
We go forward.
You
We'll go forward, but I'm definitely looking at the mirrors.
You do hear your footsteps. There's the
Move
of
forward.
your feet
Slow.
on this sort of stone. But yeah, you keep passing by things. Let me roll die.
We are in a fun house now.
I always roll die. Everything's a fun house when I run it. Anyway,
Yay,
so
fun.
I know, but the Hall of Mirrors is always where someone dies.
or maybe no one dies. Maybe I just am goofing with you. Because I do that.
I'm just saying it's the stereotype. Not saying that you fit the stereotype.
I know, that's the thing is I
Okay.
play with it because now you don't know what to expect.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well,
Hall of Mirrors.
Yeah,
Hall of
you keep
Mirrors.
passing all these.
Okay.
Are they fun
mirrors.
mirrors? Like they're making us smaller and taller
Um,
and skinny and fat?
Not really,
Oh,
but they are kind of distorted a bit. They're just sort of regularly distorted. Each one is the same. And they're kind of not necessarily distorted in a specific wibble wobble going down, but necessarily they're sort of bendy outwards as you get farther out. So you know, as you pass by the middle, you're kind of normal, and then you pass by the outside, you're kind of like bent a bit, but not too much, just a little enough to be weird.
Interesting.
So is there anything behind the mirrors, or is it?
It just looks like mirror, you know, silvery.
So it's just a straight
reflective.
So it's just a straight wall of mirror.
It just looks like wall.
Cool. Onward. Through the hall.
Yeah, carry on.
Carry on.
All right, as you guys keep going, you reach this sort of edifice you're approaching. It's actually a sort of statue.
A statue.
What kind of statue?
I'm going to tell you.
Yes!
There's a sort of grand circle. It's
A
almost
Bran circle?
grand, with like some rolling VR.
It's a Bran circle. I'm sorry.
This is where we get up nice things. Anyway, so you see this just grand, it's this big sort of almost wheel that's empty. There's no spokes, it's just this big old, you know, circular shape. And it's sitting in the floor almost. It goes against the floor, and there's sort of water pooled in the middle. And there's two little, well, there's not just two, but there's little water kind of jets that kind of go out, and then there's little holes at the bottom that the wheel kind of turns over, and this whole big circle just sort of turns as the water kind of pushes it in circles, just in the middle of the room, just slowly kind of spinning.
So the statue spins.
Yes, slowly, like
And it's a statue.
inch by
Giving me
inch.
deja vu from
And it's a
that
statue of a
one
wheel.
gear place.
It's just a big old wheel, and the wheel is technically rolling as well, so it's like going this way and rolling.
That's cool.
Guys, it's a
like
giant
it's
wheel.
like a feet.
I think it's my deity.
Okay.
To it!
It does not seem like your deity, magically, but hey, what do I know?
But I mean, it's a giant wheel within a wheel.
That's true.
I mean,
Who
come
knows?
on,
It
come
could
on.
be a symbol of your deity. Maybe it's holy.
Who knows? I don't know. I
I
don't
rolled for
know.
holiness.
What?
I rolled for the holiness.
Oh,
it
you
feels moderately holy.
Okay.
There's a giant hole in the middle of nothing in it.
Hey guys, I feel moderately holy right now.
Are you gonna give an hour-long speech about
I'm just gonna give you consistent updates on how holy I feel throughout the rest of this trip.
Okay. Thanks for the update, Bran.
Yeah, no problem.
There's no other like visible exits or anything.
There
right?
are.
It's just,
There's one at each kind of spoke along this thing. It's another set of 7. I see a trend.
What?
And you do notice these are all mirrored hallways leading off as well.
Holy.
We see a what?
7 mirrored
Much like the
hallways.
ones you came through. You know, there are some differences though. One of them has. Let me do some quick Benjamin recon because I want to be accurate in my description.
Corrupt.
Okay.
One of them has sort of nothing too noticeable, except for there's these sort of scratches along some of the walls. Just, you know, at sort of like shoulder height. There's just occasionally this nick that's been kind of like taken out of little corners that are just along the walls. And maybe in one of the mirrors has like a thin, like just super fine crack in it that kind of distorts the image even more. You know, there's one of the other hallways has sort of these small, like, kind of almost kind of dents in some of the glass. And they're all like pretty low. But you know, there's just little, and some of them have little like broken glass parts. It's not really glass though. You're aware that it's probably just reflective stone and not necessarily like mirrored glass that you're used to.
Okay.
You know, one of these has this sort of long kind of scratches on the ground that go down the hallway, and they're just kind of like in this weird, erratic, like snaky motion all the way down the hall as far as you can see.
I don't know about you guys, but Any hallway that has scratches or dents makes me not want to go down it.
Yeah, and each of the other hallways has some kind of like marks to it.
Well, we have to pick a way. Well, can I investigate the statue really quick that's spinning?
You may absolutely give me an investigation check.
Because I can.
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's 22.
Not bad. You
Not at all.
You are aware that there are small indications around the statue and on it. They're not noticeable at first because they're so very fine, small, and there's not really a lot of runes or like marks on them that make it noticeable, but there are very small nicks, very small dots, and they're put all along this grand wheel-shaped thing. And there's ones on the ground as well, kind of in the circle that it sort of sits, the basin that it's in. It's like something you'd see at like a water park or something, really. And there's little nicks as well, and they kind of seem to have sort of a numeric kind of rising and falling sort of pattern. And the wheel kind of like turns and follows them as they get bigger.
Huh.
I feel like that's important, and my player brain can't figure it out, so that's fun.
Can I roll like an Arcana check to see if, or like a history check?
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh.
I want to do Arcana.
I could do Arcana.
If you're going to think about doing it, you don't get it. I'm going to be meaning.
You're what?
13.
Meaning.
A 13.
He gets it because he thought of it. Okay.
13.
Yep.
I'm Arcana-ing it.
Okay, 13.
Your Arcana's probably better than mine.
It's just +3.
You know
mine's
that
+4.
there
Mine's
are
+5.
technically 13 months.
13 months.
Ish. Yeah. There are 13 months in the regular kind of religious calendar and only 10 in the mundane one. And this has 13 marks and they seem to match with days.
This seems religious.
So you're getting closer to your deity thing.
Maybe. Can I roll a religion check?
Absolutely.
All right.
And, now that you said that, anyone else can do it too.
That's a 20.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're gonna fight
I'm not contesting that.
for religion?
No.
I would.
I may be fighting for history, but not religion.
So,
These aren't the holy wars.
you are aware that this is a celestial calendar.
Ooh.
And that while not as fancy, you have seen similar things that aren't necessarily automated and amazing and watery and all that junk and beautiful statues and works of art that you could go on forever about. You are aware that some of the they're not necessarily official religious keepers, but they are necessarily not ostracized either. There are some who worship the kind of deity of time, and they keep these sort of clocks that aren't necessarily automated, but they do turn like this. And it does kind of look like them when they flip it open or something, or because they like to make fancy gadgets with their clocks. Because who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Guys, so this is a religious calendar, and it looks like some of the stuff they have, the people that worship time.
Well, if it's a calendar, it's telling time or something, right? So
Yeah, I mean, they'll
time?
need it because they're so far underground.
That's true too.
Is the time changing? The calendar changing then all the time? Or
Yeah, how do we read this calendar?
you would know that this goes slightly faster than, of course, real days. But
would I know of? This is a general question. Would I know of any discrepancy between the day that it's showing and the day that I thought it was when we left?
yes, this is showing a day that is in the. This is in the middle of kind of the middle of, just midwinter.
The day it's showing?
Yeah, and not necessarily, just after the flower festival of,
It's like spring.
yeah, springish.
Okay, so we were
longer
in
post-florental.
We were like late spring, and this is showing midwinter. Huh.
Weird.
Huh.
I feel like there's something here. Like,
All right. Well, I don't know what else to do, guys. I mean, I can see that it's a calendar. I know it's a religious calendar. I know that it's not the date that we left.
What if you consult your
walk
deity?
into it.
I don't know how to consult my deity.
You gotta do that thing where you like
Pray.
Do the
You
Right.
can channel divinity.
I can, but usually that's just to like heal people and stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna try and connect with my deity.
How are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna pull out the wheel. I'm gonna pull out the wheel that I have that kind of is my divinity connection, and I'm gonna focus real hard.
Fair enough.
That's usually what I do to make it
Give
heal
me a
people.
charisma check.
Check your charisma.
At the door.
Okay.
Sorry. 13.
Cool. You don't necessarily get like any immediate like visitations or anything. But you do feel sort of that you feel your connection to this divine force, and you feel that you have missed something.
Guys, we're missing something.
It draws your attention to the floor, and that there are small markings at each doorway. Incredibly small in many ways, and they each correspond to years.
Look, guys, there's little markings that for different years and different doorways.
You know,
what year is it?
Do I know what they mean? Like the markings?
They're just dots and lines for numerics, so yeah, you would know. Most people would. It's basically tally marks.
Okay.
Just very official tally marks. And
Did we find
Very
out?
mechanical.
Did we actually find out when the crap happened with the princesses? Like, what time that was?
No.
you see on one of these doorways, you on inspection, you do find that there's a bunch of kind of like extra cuts on some of the days.
Huh.
So some of the floor days have been marred just a little bit, as if something has scratched them.
Huh.
You should probably go to the
Huh.
bar.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I just figured I'd get into it.
I'm trying to
that
think through this puzzle, but I'm not doing great.
You should probably open up the door, but then you'll see scratch marks on it.
They're
Well,
not, they're
or
not doors,
maybe
they're
not.
just tunnels, right? Like
yeah, they're
hallways,
just
yeah.
Hallways.
yeah, they're just
And,
hallways.
Doesn't go
uh,
down that hallway.
But they all have scratch marks.
I don't
There
know.
was one
Ask,
that had more scratches than the other.
That
well,
just
it was
means it's a
specifically marring the date, right?
I'm
The
gonna say-
scratches were specifically marring the
I'm gonna
date,
try-
the year of it.
I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna pull out the wheel thingy that I got, and I'm gonna sit it on the ground, and I'm gonna spin it around like a
Hey
coin.
guys, it's the wheel of time.
Oh, the wheel. Keeps on turning.
So I'm gonna spin the wheel and say, okay, what you got?
You try to, but you feel that this is very heavy. Give me an athletics check.
No, I meant like
No, his own little wheel.
My little wheel.
Oh, fair enough.
On the
Little wheel,
It's
and
still very
let me
heavy.
give it a roll. Let's see what fate has in
That's
mind.
what I'm saying. All right,
Perhaps your divinity.
all right. What you got? What you got for me?
Interesting. It spins and kind of just spins around on the floor a bit. It does little wheel things.
Are we in Inception? Is it falling over?
That falls over. Well, you're all staring at it, so that test doesn't even work anyway. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
But, you, do kind of know that the one with the more numbers is with the one with the about shoulder height mirror scratches.
So the shoulder height mirror scratches. Like, does the wheel? And that's why I was trying to get. I was trying to get the wheel to tell us where to go. But
Yeah, but the only thing you know is that the one with the more date in the doorway kind of area is the one with the shoulder height.
I say we go with the one with the marred date.
I think so too,
That
guys.
one's out of the ordinary.
That seems the most unique path.
That's some solid logic to me.
Mister, I don't think. I'm just acted upon.
Alright.
I feel you.
That's where we go.
I never choose the path. I'm just always like, okay, well, I have to stay in the middle.
Hopefully it's the right path.
Wait for people to come back and group back together.
Interesting.
It's rolling many things.
You are aware that you're watched, Ku, for one moment. Someone is watching you, and there's two of them. One from one hallway and one from another. And there's a moment where you notice them, and then they're gone. And, but you didn't get a glimpse of what they were or why or...
Couldn't see them at all.
You did not. You can't. There's nothing that comes to mind. You just thought there were people. There were things. I was being watched. It's very
Guys,
uncertain.
we're definitely being watched.
Do you know where or by who?
Oh yeah, did I see which halls they were down?
Oh yeah, the one with the small dents and the one with sort of the ziggity zaggity
The
on the
ziggy-zaggies.
floor.
So I point them out.
So not from the direction we're going.
No, but we better keep our heads
Also,
on.
they're essentially the hallways right between the one you're in.
All the more reason to go down this one.
Yep, let's keep our
sounds
heads on
like
the
a
swivel
good
to
idea.
make sure that something isn't gonna like get us from behind.
So you guys.
I agree with this.
I believe the correct term is I concur.
So, you guys go down that hallway?
Sure.
The one
It
with
seems
marked
pretty
date.
peaceful. It's a hallway. There's the scratches. There's sometimes multiple against some mirrors. Some mirrors are fine. There's one that has sort of a weird like vertigo one, but there's always that one.
There's always some.
And otherwise it's pretty consistent. You reach the end of this hallway and there's a door. It's another one of those stone doors that's kind of spinny.
Cool.
And it's got sort of the track that it's on, and you're kind of on the inside of this one, so you'd be going onto the outside of that one as well. And you guys want to go through that?
So are these like Scooby-Doo doors where they like rotate?
Kind of think about
Like
it.
where you
it's
like pull the lever
You know
and you
Monsters
rotate
Inc.
it
how
down?
they have those doors and they have them on those like hanger things?
yeah.
Essentially, there's one of those tracks in the floor and one on the ceiling, and there's two doors that are essentially like attached to like a metal spinner.
Okay.
And so when you spin the door, essentially it spins the entire thing, and then it hits a point and it just locks. And that's a mechanism you can't really tell where it is.
Huh. Okay, cool.
We'll go through the door.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
guess.
You guys go, and you push
Nothing's
this
following
door.
us?
Did you check?
Well, I said our head was on a
She's gonna
swivel.
keep an eye on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You don't see anyone following you.
That was a good
Nope.
roll, so yeah, I
Okay.
don't.
Nobody's following you that you can tell. And you push the door open, and it starts to like drip water in through the floor. It's actually not a wall of water. It's just about waist high for Bran. So
A wall of water
I'm
for
little
you.
for Nakia, lot for you.
lot for me.
But you
She's
can
like,
get in.
Help me!
Yeah, we'll like go grab onto her so she doesn't fly. Like,
Yeah,
drown.
so you go
Right
in,
on my
and
shoulders.
I'll talk to you in a minute. Let's go through Warren. Warren, you are in this thickening mist. It's getting real thick, and you're sitting there, and your thing is there, and it's sort of like asleep. Yeah. You're just there. You've been alone for a while now,
It's been long.
and the mist is getting weird. And every now and then you see like figures of almost people in the mist, and they're just like going by or doing something, and they dissipate in weird ways, or like there's something odd that's like half a vision of something.
At least you're longer alone.
This is exactly why I don't like being alone without the other adventurers around. He's freaking out. gonna get up and start heading towards the direction that Berl went.
Okay.
There's got to be something. He leaves his. No, that doesn't work.
You might want to pick up the dog with you.
The dog is still standing exactly where it was left. Mm-hmm. It has not moved since.
Because it's the pseudo dog.
It's not real.
Okay, he takes the arrow and points it in the direction that Berl headed, as kind of like an indication of which way he went, and he's gonna go start marching along after Berl, because this is getting weird. This is getting weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your perception again?
Passive is 12.
You are aware you're being watched.
That's great. I love it. This is my favorite. I love being watched.
You are aware that there are several someones watching you from the trees.
Even
from
better.
The grove you were in. You turn and you see vague outlines of just dark outlines of what kind of look like people. It's hard to tell. The mist is very thick.
Okay, we are walking faster back over to those stairs that lead over to the other town, because I know
All right.
that's where she went.
Okay. You do so, and yeah.
Does the mist get any better as I go?
Not too much.
Great.
I mean, it does kind of let you see more ahead, but it is still very thick, and you still get the feeling that you are watched. As you keep going across these stairs, you begin to notice odd gazes from beneath you, and you see figures looking up at you from the kind of the tiers and cracks and things down below that people have, Nakia had fallen onto one of those. You feel like you're being watched from there. There's a vague person there, and you just feel super watched from everywhere.
That's pleasant.
Am I in the town yet?
You get to the town pretty darn fast.
It starts normal, and then the eyes start peering between the tiers, and you just
And
okay, well, more places for people to stare at me from, but be like, Berl!
Dude, like ghost town music, man.
let me get some better ghost town music.
Great.
Even better.
There we go.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it fits. You get this town, and
It's not as sinister, in my opinion.
it's super
It's
empty.
faintly,
and
like, off, though.
the
That's what I
first,
don't like.
this first kind of row of houses, just one floor houses, small, simple. Then it hits dead end. And you see second floor houses, and there's kind of a turn into the mist blocks your vision. And you can kind of hear occasionally, you hear a soft footstep or a soft moan in the distance, but nothing too crazy. And, buffering's a
Sounds
thing.
kind of crazy.
Buffering's a thing.
All goes silent, and it's really freaky.
Into that
Alright,
good
I guess I have to...
Thanks for the pity laugh.
It is a little too quiet,
Yeah, let's
other
see.
than the soft footsteps in the distance, but they're so soft.
Oh, no. Let's see, what would I don't
It's
know...
almost like they're not even real, the footsteps. They're almost in your mind. Something you imagine. They can't possibly be real.
Keep
Okay,
telling
so-
yourself that.
So all my calling out is not getting any response.
How loud are you calling out?
I am calling at the top of my
Performance check!
lungs. There's slightly, there's a slightly shrill...
I like to make checks like performance
You know when
checks. Whoever
Shadow-
does it.
You know in Shadow of the Colossus when you can call your horse when everything is normal and he's just like, oh no. But if you call him when there's a Colossus coming down on him, he's like, oh That's what it sounds like.
Agro, and it's like, Agro!
no! Yeah.
You call and there's a couple more footsteps, but nothing like appears out of the mist or anything. And the footsteps are just normal after that in odd ways. They're never really the exact footsteps that a human would necessarily take, because people tend to be more purposeful in how they walk and more patterned, and this is a bit more like...
Great thing to listen to.
Their footsteps are just so...
No, I played Silent Hill. I know what this sounds like. Okay. So I'm going to... I don't think a nature check would work to try and track, but I guess it would have to be, an investigation check?
Survival, yeah.
Okay. So
Nature is trying to understand nature in the world around you. If you're trying to find natural things or phenomena, then it would work for tracking, but survival usually covers tracking.
Okay, so I got a 19.
Cool. You do manage to track pretty well. You do notice one of the doors has been left open, fully wide, and there's not any disturbances inside of it, but you do kind of notice that there are patterns in sort of dust and dirt and little things that maybe nobody else would notice, but years of being a hermit and a ranger and just following things because you had to has given you the ability to kind of follow a couple weird things, to follow like a shoe print, something you would kind of know from your companion Berl's thing, because you've been used to their footprints. You've traveled with them for a while.
Little tiny print.
You're aware of those, and you kind of like, okay, this is Berl. And you manage to follow and go through certain alleys, and there's a point where you're following, you hear this footsteps again coming from the hallway that the footprints you're following lead into, and you hear that walking, and what do you do? It seems to be coming towards you.
Alright, I'm gonna prepare an arrow. We'll see what happens.
Come back.
Okay, you do, and you wait. And you wait. The footsteps get closer, slowly. After a long time. It feels like an eternity. You manage to wait long enough that you see this kind of strange, almost human thing kind of stumble into view, and they're just kind of hunched over, and they have a few too many arms, and they have no hands.
It's because the llamas with hats eat them.
And their hands actually end in these small, like, kind of hooks almost.
Nubbins.
And they have about 7 hands, if you count the 3 that are just sort of small, hanging around their stomach and kind of like ringing each other in just like ringiness. And the other top 4 are just kind of like wrapped around them in sort of a personal embrace. And this thing kind of stumbles by, and one of its hands just kind of like strokes a wall as it goes by, and it just kind of stumbles across in front of you and just walks by.
Question: Is our pet Wretched there?
He fell asleep back at the. He was asleep back by the pool.
Your perception's 12.
Yeah,
let me give you a...
Is he coming with? I just hear this.
Or you just don't see anything.
You just like, I look in my bag and my cat's not there. It's just that thing.
It was I, no. You are aware that you are being followed. The small, like, blue eye just kind of peeks out of, like, a corner. There's, like, a little, like, door that's hanging a little bit, and it's just, like, from behind the door, just, like... and then kind of leans back, but other than that,
more eyes.
I give it a check in that 20. It was hilarious. You could tell that it had acquired bread. It had bread in its like jaw, just like as it did, because nat 20, it gets what it wants.
And it want bread, not it.
It want bread.
Whole chicken.
The whole chicken? How dare you? Only plebeians eat the whole chicken.
I don't know, if it's a manifestation of hunger, why don't you eat the whole chicken?
I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
But she gave her bread before. I don't even know if it can it only... Maybe it can only manifest what it's had before. I don't know.
Who knows? Anyway, so you're aware of that. And this thing stumbles across in front of you and keeps going down the alley. And then it turns into a door in like a perfectly smooth, no stop, no move motion, just like literally like right steps as if nothing happened, like on a dime into this door of this house and just like, you know, goes in.
That's the freakiest thing I've ever seen. Okay. I'm just gonna keep going, I guess. I know, I mean, I would know her steps from
steps
the freaky, like, drag steps going on.
You find a door, but it's not really a door, it's a doorway, and it's into an alley, and it leads into this thing where the steps go up, and then there's a long stretch, and then there's a door on the side, and the footprints lead there.
And that's Berl's footprints and not the freaky. Okay.
They are not sort of the draggy and less clothed footprints. They are more shoey.
Okay. We go up the steps. There's a hissed Berl. Because there's no more yelling after that thing as we open the door. Berl.
You do, and you don't hear anything back from the side of the door. The door is locked.
It's what? I can't do locks.
You don't even have lockpicks.
No, I definitely.
But you do know that it is a simple, kind of rusted old lock.
What if I break it down? That'll make noise.
Oh, might it? Do tell.
I do love how Warren. I love how Warren is struggling with this. His like worst fear of being alone.
Just like there's things out there.
He did do that.
I was gonna say, he brings them. You didn't go with the people. You left yourself.
Let's argue after.
No, it's great. I love it.
No,
You ditched me. That's what you did. This is your guys'
it's really a Bran problem because Bran's the one that ditched you.
Okay. I don't know if I have a way through this. I don't know. We'll try a investigation check to see if there's another way in. But that was just a 14.
14, there's a small window. It's about, 9 feet up the wall. It's pretty high. And this is sort of a covered hallway. So it's really smooth walls. They're just more ornate. But the window is open. And you could fit through it. It'd be tight. But you could do it. It'd just be a feat of acrobatics and athletics to get there.
What's more important to Warren?
You've all done this to me. Mostly you two. Anyway, I don't know what to do.
They've done it? No, I've done it. Blame me.
Summarize this whole
We
section.
didn't leave her.
We invited her.
We did. We invited everyone.
Sorry, I'm not crazy about going into endless pits of water.
People these days.
Anyway, write that down. Alright. I'm going to try, what would that be? Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand. Oh, to get in?
12.
You're gonna
To
swipe
try
it?
to, no, I mean like to try to do something with the lock.
Sure, okay. Give me a sleight of hand check.
I mean like if it's really simple, maybe I
Do
can
it.
like
Roll it.
13.
13? You don't manage to figure out how you could pick it or anything, but you are aware that, hey, there's a weak point over here. This could easily be broken. The noise, if you hit it right, probably could be pretty soft.
Okay, well.
But if you hit it wrong, it's metal, there's stone, maybe you could catch it, but then you wouldn't get the force, and maybe you hit yourself, who knows.
Do it, Warren.
Okay, well, I'd like to do it. My
You wanna
chances are nothing.
This is your conscience. You're doing it.
Alright, so that was a.
Yes, breaking the house.
I assume that's another sleight of
Steal
hand.
the things.
I think it's
So that's
strength if you're breaking it.
Oh,
You're willing to break?
Yeah.
I'll give it a. I'll say it's a dex because I'm trying to do it very accurately.
Fair enough.
So that's a 21.
Okay. You manage to do so. You break this sort of rusted part of the lock, and it just sort of hangs there. You managed to do it without making tons of noise, but there was a kind of a as you kind of smacked it, pretty darn hard and kind of like against the door frame as well. It was kind of a messy thing, but it did break it. This lock had definitely seen better days. And now it's able to be taken off, and you do, and you can open the door.
Okay, and I close the door behind me, and I immediately look around for something to barricade the door with.
Alright, there's a table, there are 2 chairs. You're in sort of a small kitchen.
I put all of those things in front of the door.
Alright, you
All
do
of
so. It makes a bit of noise, but okay. There's, stairs going up, stairs going down, but there's not much else on this floor.
Is this the house that I visited first?
Could be.
The side of the kitchen is not the big long tunnel of the fortress.
Well, all I can do is
how I
track you.
introduced that it went up instead of down.
Yeah.
But hey.
That's
I noticed that too. I was like, it went down.
It's almost like it's a different place for everybody. What?
Okay, so that's
Except
an
for Bran.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an 18
I
survival.
know, you're in a place that's more consistent.
Aha!
I sure think that's all I'm saying.
I don't know if my turn is still going, but
Your
that's
turn's still going. What is
18 survival check to find some more tracks.
it? You do. They go up the stairs.
I go up, I follow these tracks.
Alright, you go to the next floor up, and there's sort of a long bridge between houses, and that's the only way to go. It's really weird. It's not natural. Nobody builds houses like this, and even a hermit knows that. This bridge is this almost wooden-y kind of thing you'd find over like a small river or canyon, and you'd see it, and there's like it goes from one house to another, to another, to another, as kind of this like chain of bridges that go across this city. And you notice that the houses here are very tall. Most houses don't go over 3 stories ever, if they can help it, and some of these are going like 6 or 7. And maybe more. Some places it's starting to block out like the sky in just house, and there's just buildings above.
Okay, I'm just gonna blindly follow the tracks, however far on this bridge they go.
They cross the bridges and they keep going. There's just a lot of bridge to cross, and each step makes this sort of wooden and every now and then you'll hear some of the footsteps below just start speeding up just a little bit in response and then slowing down again.
I don't like this.
Alright. And you keep going from building to building like that and kind of like chasing these tracks. Next people? Who's next? Berl? Berl, you and your friend, when I said you went back to the beginning, where did you think I told you to go? Just making sure we're on the same page.
I was thinking like the very original beginning.
Very beginning, like from the downward stairs into the building with the 4 halls. Fair enough. You go and you enter through that door again, basically, and there are the 4 doors on each side and the stairs going down.
The ones we just erased.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll just go straight this time. And as I'm walking with my little friend, because I'm like,
Your big
so... friend, yes, little.
Friend. Little.
So because of
Walking.
this, he's like the only companion I've got with me right now. I'm just gonna like confide my feelings and like my problems and troubles as we're going. Because I need to talk to somebody.
I feel like now this is like animal handling where she's just gonna...
Roll me an animal handling check.
It's like a... Berl's found a therapist.
Animal
I
handling.
don't know, I just wanted you to roll for it.
A Berl
Because we
therapist.
never get animal handling.
A Berl therapist.
I tried to make it happen.
Nah.
I tried to make it happen.
Yeah. No, I
She
love
got a
it.
10.
I have a good
10
animal
up.
handling.
Yeah, so you say so, and it doesn't necessarily understand everything you're saying. You get a soft, like, even though it's holding onto you very hard, one of its handless arms kind of like gently caresses in a way that it tries. It's trying.
It makes me feel a little bit better.
It's a bit creepy though, because you are aware that they have small little like hooks,
Right.
almost like spider claws instead of fingers. Just 2 little like coming off that end, and it would be creepy if you know
If I was in any better state of mind.
Let's just be clear.
Yeah. Berl's just kind of happy to have somebody to talk to that she can get all this off her chest and just feel a little bit better about herself. So.
It moans and mutters and panics in commiseration. I will need you to make a charisma saving throw, though.
Come on, be good to me. Makes an 11.
Yeah, okay. You manage to kind of resist this gnawing kind of horror at the world you're in and how you feel, and just this feeling that everyone is kind of left you and abandoned you, and they don't like you very much, and you know, you're kind of a bad person. All these horrible thoughts are just in your mind, and you manage to kind of like, okay, and there's these things that are crawling out of the shadows that you're just like, okay, those aren't real, and they aren't. And you manage to kind of like keep it steady, and the creature holding you's spasms start to lessen and stops kind of being as anxious as much.
Oh, that's good.
So your saving throws are helping it.
I think so. We are connected as one.
Okay.
So,
All
yes, we're going
So
down.
you manage to keep going, and you go down these stairs, and you will merge up these stairs in essentially another kind of building. This one's more of an art gallery. There's these long kind of statued halls, and each of them are like almost picturesque Greek gods and goddesses in a lot of ways, you know, just in poses. And they're all not mirrored, but they're kind of mirrored. They're like intentionally placed, it seems, to like sort of mimic each other as they go, but they're never the same.
Interesting.
And this whole hallway just goes down like that, like 30 feet, and each of these statues is on the walls, and then there's more hallways with more statues that you can see. And it's well lit. There's this, you know, kind of very bright kinds of braziers of just coals and fire hanging from the ceiling above.
I feel like light.
It's very smoky up there, but you feel pretty good down here.
Okay. I'm just glad to have some light. Well, I guess I'll investigate the statues to see if anything stands out. Would my dungeon delver pick up on... Okay, yeah, I will apply dungeon delver to my perception, which gives me an advantage on my investigation for hidden doors.
Sure. You managed to check. There aren't any hidden doors on this hall. But you are aware that, you know, one of these statues is a bit odd, and that's probably because it's been moved. The base and the statue don't have the same stone as the others would, and it's just a little out of place, but it would have been really hard to notice.
Would there be any other statues that look like it?
As you go down this hall, you don't see it on the hall you came in from, but you know, if you inspect on the sides, and you probably do, since you're doing it, just on one of the side hallways, there's another statue that looks like it may have fit better in that position. It seems similar stone on base and everything.
Okay. I'll turn to my little friends and be like, can you help me move these statues?
It does not respond coherently.
Okay. Well, I will instead attempt to communicate through action and attempt to lift the statue and see if he helps me.
Okay. You do, and it kind of, as it's gripping you, it also grips the statue and kind of hugs the statue as well. It's sort of like a bit awkwardly close, but it does pick up the statue a bit easily in some ways.
Okay.
And it kind of takes the statue with you.
Okay, we'll
in
go
this
back.
sort of group hug that's like mutual.
I love this thing.
We'll go back to the other one and we'll see if we can't swap them.
Okay. Getting the statue off its pedestal is kind of hard. You know, getting it to be moved. But you do manage to do it. Give me a roll for like, just dexterity or something. I don't know.
Dexterity or something.
Yeah, trying to get something accurate done. So dex.
Not dex saving, just dex.
Just dex.
Modifier.
What'd you get?
That's gonna be a 7.
Not bad. Okay, so you manage to knock it off its thing, and it falls over and breaks.
No!
Its arm was in this magnificent, like, yes sort of pose.
Yes.
And this elbow, it's gone. And the statue's just on its side like this now, and just kind of laying on the floor, and its face
now
is
it's
just
kinda
looking at you, and it's just kind of like this
how could
smug
you?
hello.
Draw me like
You
a
know, its arm is gone though, and its arm's just to the side, kind of almost like in this goofy look. And but you get the statue that is holding onto the pedestal. It hasn't really let go of the statue. But it is on the pedestal, and you do feel it kind of like gets into place, and there does seem to be like it pushes in and kind of keeps going a little bit and kind of locks in, kind of odd way.
Okay.
Must have been some kind of mechanics that were a bit hard to tell.
Okay. Well, I will try to move over to the statue that fell and see if I can't get my friend to...
As soon as you do, it's hard to do so because the one holding you is also holding the statue still.
Yes. I'm trying to see...
And we're gonna leave it off for there because that's all we have time for, really.
What are we even doing?
We're trying to save the town.
Are we?
Well,
Yeah,
somewhere in the dream.
Oh, the
is-
town of the dead people, the
Yeah.
skeletons. But then the king brought us down there, and he's like, "Here are my twin
Daughters.
daughters. Here's a dreamscape.
Yeah,
Where's the
I'm not quite sure what our end goal is, other than we're trying to save the town somehow.
They don't really know what's going on either. Like they.
Yeah,
I know the king
something
said
here.
the king said he couldn't go past the door.
I mean, there's something
We
about
went-
the
we went
evil
past the
twin,
door.
right?
We don't
There's
know where we're
something that
going.
happened with the evil twin, and that's
One
why
of the
they...
twins is in sort of they are very much not awake. And they have
They're
pinned
trying
to the
to keep
ground with
it
the
that way.
bullocks. And every night at every twilight, every dusk, they wake up
Both
and
of them?
everybody comes back to life, and the whole cycle continues for these people. And the other one is always awake, or at least usually awake,
Yeah.
as awake as you can be when you're dead. And
So somehow, like the wake and asleep state of this,
and it's sort of
twin
like torn between two
thing,
realms, and it's this weird
like controls
mess.
whether the people's curse.
And they have trouble remembering anything. It's a huge mess, and
we're trying
And
to
we're now in the middle of
and
it.
you're in it. And we'll see how this exploration goes.